whenever there's an episodic series, you can bet two men will talk to you. AJ Talon and Owen Finch give their thoughts on Owen and AJ Talks.
Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to Owen and AJ Talks. I'm Owen Finch and I'm here with...
AJ Talon, and today, finally, it's the Season 1 finale of Yellowjackets, Episode 10.
Yeah, I'm happy we're finally at this point. You know, it was kind of a struggle to get here, obviously, because right after we did Yellowjackets, a lot of us stuff in our personal lives changed due to work and other things. Because we took a big break between episode like 4 and 5, and then once we kind of like really buckled down and did Yellowjackets, we finished it pretty quickly. I think it took us, a couple weeks. Because
yeah, I mean we've done like no videos except Yellowjackets, you know, and in like GM mode. But we really like buckled down and got this done. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, we'll take a little bit of a break between season 1 and 2 to like do some other videos. But you know, we're not going to take a big break. We don't plan on. We're going to start season 2 probably in like 2 weeks. I think we agreed.
Yeah, I'll kind of announce at the end of the video, kind of what the plan is.
Yeah.
So that way.
But for now, let's focus on this episode. My prediction was pretty true, actually. I predicted that this episode would mainly be like dealing with the aftermath of the Doom coming. And yeah, sure enough, a lot of this was the aftermath of like last episode.
I don't think. You know, it definitely did deal with the aftermath, but as we talked about off camera, because we talked for like an hour, almost an hour off camera, because we randomly decided to do shit randomly. But like, I don't think you expected like the aftermath that we got. Like, it was still like as great as it was and everything like that. I don't think you expected it to be more so like aftermath, but like it was pretty big aftermath that ended up happening. Right?
Oh yeah. Well, I just more so meant like, you know, disposing of the body. And, like, you know, Jackie being upset with Shauna about, you know, nearly murdering Travis and all that stuff.
Yeah. But, yeah, let's just get right into this. So this episode is called, I'm going to butcher this title probably, but it's in the title of the video, so hopefully you guys can read, but I'm going to try to see if I can say this. Sick Transit, Gloria, Mundi. Probably butchered that, like, massively. But, there is a
dude, foreign names are so, you know, again, I'm an anime fan, dude, trying to, like, pronounce foreign names is fucking, forget about it.
Yeah. But I did do some digging, because I knew this episode was coming up. I make it sound like I did the research for, like, weeks and weeks since it took us a while to get here. But I only did it for, like, you know, a couple of days, but, like, I'm like, you know, I never knew that this was the title of this episode. I'm like, okay, this clearly means something, because if you know, as you've listened to the interviews and stuff, the people in Yellowjackets, they plan the show out pretty far in advance, and, you know, obviously sometimes writers will put titles in that has meanings to them and stuff like that. Like, Ozymandias, you know, that has a pretty big meaning for Breaking Bad.
Yeah, obviously, because Ozymandias, you know, that's the whole thing is, you know, the king who's nothing left, and obviously that's Walt.
So,
well, it's funny, too, because I think I was the one who told you that Ozymandias, like, the name had meaning.
Yeah, you did. And then I kept messing up the name, like, every time we talked.
I was going to say, you kept calling, like, Ozymandias, or something, like, you kept saying it weird.
Yeah. But yeah, this does have meaning behind it. I am going to read the wiki just word for word, though, just because I didn't want to try to memorize it, because I figured I would butcher it, so I'm just going to read what this means. And then, you know, maybe like, when we actually get to this scene, you'll be like, okay, so that's what that means. So, Sic transit Gloria Mundi is a Latin phrase that means, thus passes the glory of the world. In idiomatic context, the phrase has been used to mean fame is fleeting. The phrase was used in the ritual of papal coronation, which, you know, when you see what happens at the end of this episode, this is what Lottie says. It makes more sense. Okay. Ceremonies between 1409, when it was used at the coronation of Alexander V in 1963. As the newly chosen pope proceeded from the sarcicity of St. Peter's Basilica in his Sede Gestoria, the procession stopped 3 times. On each occasion, a papal master of ceremonies would fall to his knees before the pope, holding a silver or brass reed, bearing a tow of smoldering flax. For 3 times in succession, as the cloth burned away, he would say in a loud and mournful voice, Pautor Sensei, or, the name of this episode, I'm not going to say it again, Holy Father, so passes worldly glory. These words, thus addressed to the Pope, served as a reminder of the transitory nature of life and earthly honors. Then it says a form of the phrase appeared in Thomas A. Kempsey's 1418 work, The Imitation of Christ. And, that says this again, and then it says how quickly the glory of the world passes away. So, yeah.
That was a lot.
Yeah, but that makes more sense, though, when you see how the end of the episode plays out, because you see the Lottie, she says, the name of this episode, in her, little trance and little, speech that she does.
Little prayer, yeah.
At the end. So, so I always like it when, writers and stuff will put, biblical references, like you said, Ozymandias with Breaking Bad as meanings.
Yeah, no, I always loved when there's, an actual, hidden meaning to, an episode name or, a show name. Well, it's funny because we're going to do Red vs. Blue Season 8 soon. When we do that video, I'm going to bitch about how I feel because Season 6 is called Reconstruction and Season 8 is called Revelation. I feel like they should have been switched. Because Season 6 had, a big revelations.
Yeah.
And then Season 8 is all about reconstructing church. And I'm like, they should have fucking swapped those names.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I'm saying I think that's a pretty fitting, very good, biblical, religious reference considering how this episode ends.
Yeah, definitely.
And Lottie's whole character is, very, religiously tied.
And, as we're going to talk about, the end of the episode, everything they just described from what I just read is pretty much what happens at the end of the episode. So, But yeah, the director of this episode is Eduardo Sanchez. He's a pretty famous director. He's done a lot of good stuff. He's done a lot of stuff. He's directed mainly television. He's directed obviously this episode. He's directed an episode of American Horror Stories, an episode of Charmed. An episode of Lucifer, Supernatural. So he's been around for a while. If you notice, he's done a lot of religious type of stuff. Lucifer, obviously, is is the devil. Supernatural, is a show about supernatural, Thins. And then American Horror Stories about horror. I mean, I know it's in the title, but that's a horror based type of thing. So kind of a perfect person to put in to your last episode. So
yeah, glad the man does what he's good at.
Yeah, always good. And then the people who wrote this episode are Ashley Lyle and Boat Nickerson. They didn't get wikis though, unfortunately. So it's always a shame when they don't get wikis, kind of, because you're just wow, they pulled all this work in. They don't even get.
Yeah, no one can even bother writing a 2-sentence thing. Kiss Sis has a wiki. It's pathetic and sad, but at least it's something.
Is that sad that Kiss they wrote this?
Someone put more effort into Kiss Sis wikis than these people's wikis, which is that's a low bar.
Yeah. By the way, so you got to guess. Now it's been a little bit since we've done a video, so you have to remember when the last episode came out. Do you want to guess when this episode came out?
Oh yeah, it's been a little while. Okay, last one came out on, I remember, it was January 2022. I think this one's gonna be the 10th.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
It's January 16th, 2022.
All right, I was a week off.
If we had done this last week, you probably would have gotten this right too.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, I remember one of them was, like, the 3rd, and then, like, I was like, is this one, like, the 10th or the 9th, or is this, like, a week later? Yeah, so I was a little off.
I think you got. Have you got any of these right? I think you got last. Or did you get last week's right?
I think I got last week right, but again, it's just been a little while, so I couldn't remember if my last guess was, like, the 3rd of the 9th.
Yeah. But yeah, let's just get started to get I'll get my nice little notes up. I had them up, but iPhones like to X out of stuff that don't deserve X out of it. So we're gonna do the same format as we did for the last episode because not so much the present, but the past. Pretty much all the stories are connected, so I'm just going to talk about all the past because there's a specific thing that happens in the past that I want to talk about, and then you're going to talk about everything in the present. So we're going to reverse it, which sucks for you because you have to talk about more things than I do, which I always know. See, that seems to always happen to you anytime we do anything like review-wise. But whatever.
Yeah, I always end up getting the lengthy stuff. Yeah,
I feel like
which is funny because I feel like you're good. You're better at like being more concise. I'll like talk longer.
I feel like too now, like maybe not with season 8, but when we get to season 9 of OV, you're gonna type up your notes. You're gonna give me now like the big sections to like talk about type of thing. So
yeah, I know. Right?
But yeah, let's just get started. So we're back in 1996. I was you weren't even alive yet, AJ, and
yeah, I was about to say I was like -4,
and I was probably depending on when since this is like the fall, about to be like winter. I was like, I think I was like barely 1. I probably just turned like 1 or something. So
yeah.
But this is the next day after the doom coming. Everyone's kind of waking up after being after being on shrooms and being drunk and everything like that. Typical day after homecoming.
Yeah.
After things that happened that weren't typical. I'm
gonna say that a lot in this episode. It is absolutely fucking insane how chill everyone is.
I don't blame you. But yeah, everybody that kind of participated in what was going on with Travis, like wakes up, Lottie, Shauna, the random background characters. I think did they participate? They must have participated, right? I don't even know.
I think so because I know Tyson and Van like fucked off.
Yeah,
like fucked off literally. They fucked off on each other. Yeah, I think they participated. I don't remember.
There was 4 people that participated. The two main ones was Shauna and not Thaisa. Shauna
and Lottie. Yeah, because Tyson and Van like fucked off before like they got really crazy with Travis. So
yeah. And then, they'll all kind
of... Which we're going to see later on makes sense, because, like, we're going to see, like, like, Ben and Thaisa seem like they don't really, like, know what happened, like, later.
Yeah.
Like, they don't know they fucking threatened to murder Travis.
But, yeah, everybody wakes up. Travis is cleaning up his neck after getting, like, all cut up the last episode. Natalie comes over him and is, like, checking him and making sure he's okay. But Travis is, like, just being like, yeah, I'm fine, like, kind of not really giving him much and kind of embarrassed and, like, speechless. He's probably, like, got a little bit of, not, early stages of PTSD of what happened, but he's also...
I was going to say, it seemed like he's in shock, and, like, he, he brings up that he slept with Jackie to try to get Natalie to, like, leave him alone.
Yeah. And I do like...
I love Natalie in the scene where she's like, look, I don't care what happened with Jackie. I'm just, like, worried about you.
Yeah, I liked that. I liked, too, that, like, I like Travis. I like that this was, like, immediate, so, like, you got to see, like, Travis, like, the day after, like, type of thing, because that's one thing I think Yellowjackets always doesn't do well, is we don't get to see the immediate reaction. Like, we didn't really get to see the immediate reaction of Laura's death, so I like that, like, we got to
see... Yeah, they last episode, they said it was, like, weeks later, yeah. Although, I will say, I liked the scenes with Natalie and Travis, and it makes sense. Travis was, like, away because he was, like, looking for Javi. But I wish we got to see like Travis interacting with the others,
Yeah.
Because like maybe he like is like afraid of Lottie now, like he doesn't want to be near them.
You can't blame him for being away this episode.
I know. I'm just thinking it would have been nice to see like because again, I it's crazy that like Shauna just like tries to not discuss it.
Yeah.
It would have been nice if like Shauna tried to like go up to Travis and like apologize, and he just like. Try to like avoid her, like he walked away, like didn't want to talk to her.
Yeah, but Yeah, Travis says he's gonna go look.
I just realized we still have not seen Shauna and Travis like talk at all in the past.
We haven't seen like Shauna and Natalie really talk in the past either. So,
which is great, because again, Shauna seemed really upset when she found out Travis was dead. So,
yeah, I hope this isn't the reason though. Like, that would be kind of,
yeah,
because Shauna gives her speech like later, which you'll talk about, but it'd be kind of stupid if like this is the whole reason, because it's like
yeah.
But anyhow, Travis says he's gonna go look for Harvey, and Natalie's asking if he wants help, and Travis like just isn't having it. Again, he's in shock, but also like I think he's also like embarrassed about what happened, type of thing, and he still kind of doesn't.
Oh, so sorry to interrupt your section again, but you told me that like there it was gonna be a plot line that like Harvey's missing, and I assumed that was like next season.
Yeah.
Or like you mentioned that like Harvey was gonna like take off because we had like a running joke that like Harvey always like disappears.
Yep.
I didn't realize that was gonna be like the thing for this episode, and it's not resolved either. So it's just like when Shauna told him to run and he booked it, like he fucking booked it. Like he literally just he pulled a Forrest Gump. He fucking ran, and he kept fucking going.
Yeah. He probably just stayed in town for like the rest of the show. Like, yeah, no, I ain't dealing with this anymore.
I know, right? I'm good. I'm gonna hang out here.
But yeah. So then I'll just talk about all the Natalie Travis stuff now, since it's so separate. Yeah. Like towards the end of the episode, at nighttime, Travis is still looking for Harvey, and Natalie runs into him. She's like, she keeps asking like Travis if she wants some help, and like Travis is just like, I don't want your help, but he won't even like look at Natalie at this point, just because he's like in shock, and like at this point I think he's feeling like remorseful about like what he did, like with Jackie the last episode, Travis like apologizes to Natalie and says that like he loves her like so much, and they like finally make up like in this episode, and then we see them hugging and everything like that. What I liked about this scene the most was they were playing the same song. I don't know if you caught this, because obviously it's been a while since we've seen that episode. They were playing the same song that played when Travis died, so that was kind of sad.
I didn't notice that. Yeah, that is true, because you already know what's going to happen to this guy, so yeah, it is sad.
And we were seeing stuff in the present, which you'll talk about later with like Natalie. They were like cutting back and forth between that, so that made this scene kind of depressing.
And we've brought it up in a few episodes, but like, yeah, it is sad, like, because like we knew they were going to get back together, because obviously they work together in the present, but it sucks too, because they're getting back together, but it's going to be like a shit show of a relationship.
But overall, I liked everything that happened with Natalie and Travis. I like that they kind of just did their own thing this episode up until really the end. And I'll talk about that, because there's a kind of a theory that I have about that at the end with what happens like towards the end of the past.
Yeah.
But I liked that, I really liked how they were acting. I liked that Natalie didn't get mad at Travis about like sleeping with Jackie. Had that stuff not happen with Travis last episode, I would kind of question it, but I actually kind of like it. Like, it'd be kind of weird, because
I feel like if that stuff didn't happen, she would be upset with him. But yeah, because like he almost fucking died, and she's like, obviously she cares about him. I think it makes sense for her to like be like, okay, look, that really doesn't matter right now.
Yeah, and the whole episode, I think the whole season was kind of building this like relationship between them. I like that they made up pretty quickly towards the end and everything.
And it's also funny because the reverse happens with Jackie and Shauna, where like, like obviously they let their like more petty fight kind of like, get in the way of like the serious stuff, and it ends up costing one of them their lives.
So I kind of like that contrast, because
Yeah.
Then continuing, anything else you want to say about the Travis and Natalie stuff before I move? Vaughn, I kind of talked about it pretty quickly, but it's pretty quick. So.
No, obviously I'm going to bring up the present stuff when I speak, but yeah, I liked what they had in the past, and like I said, it was a good contrast to Shauna and Jackie.
I like that they want like, what I like about the plots in the past is they don't other than episode 4, they don't and they don't overshadow like the whole thing. They'll just be in it, and you know it's there, and then like they won't overshadow like the whole episode. So
yeah, I think a complaint we had earlier in the season is that they're like kind of spreading stuff too thin. I feel like this was a good example of like, okay, like we had a couple Travis and Natalie scenes. It was there, it was good, and it didn't cut anything short,
And it didn't overstay its welcome. So
it didn't overstay its welcome. It wasn't underdeveloped. It wasn't overdeveloped. It was like it did its job.
Yeah, did a good job. Well,
yeah,
except not later on, but
he did a good job, Natalie and Travis. They're not going to cut you out of next episode.
Hey, you don't know that, so
yeah, it's true. Yeah. Imagine next episode in season 1 premiere, we don't get any of Natalie and Travis.
What do you think? By the way, we should make this. What do you think Javi did last episode? Because he didn't get to be in this episode. What do you think he did last episode? Because remember, like after the seance, he didn't get to be in the episode for like a while. He wasn't in the show for like a while. He must have done something really bad if they had to write a storyline that he's missing.
Remember how Ben said Misty should go dance with Javi? They actually danced together, and it's a cut scene. My uncle, he's you don't know him, Owen, even though your dad is my uncle. You don't know him. He's a director of Yellowjackets, and he told me there was a deleted scene where Javi and Misty were dancing, and the director was like, "Javi, you're a terrible dancer. Get the fuck out of here. Go fuck off and run in the woods."
It'd be awesome if that actually was the case.
The actors obviously didn't take real shrooms, except Javi's actor. They actually gave Javi like actual shrooms.
But yeah, let's continue talking about that was awesome.
Listen, that's all we're gonna get of Javi from now on. He's still missing. He's still running in the woods.
Yeah. So then
he's the real lady in the tree.
Yeah. He was in a tree actually. Wasn't he in a tree the last episode? I think he was. Well, he was in something.
He was in the bush.
Oh, okay.
Taisa's the lady in the tree. Javi's the man of the bush.
Okay, I'm just gonna let that sit there.
Yeah, I know. As soon as I said it.
But
no, that's Ben. That's Ben.
Yeah, it is. But continuing.
Good for him.
Well, he doesn't have to be with Misty now anymore. So.
Yeah, I know, right? So yeah, speaking of, I guess now it's back at camp because, like you said, Lottie and Shauna, everyone who was like involved in the creepy cult shit last episode, like picks himself up off the ground, and it's crazy. From what it looks like, they just like passed out after Natalie saved Travis.
Yeah,
because they're still at that same spot.
Yeah, we didn't really get anything more of it too. So,
it's surprised you because like Jackie was still there. Like Natalie pushed Lottie and then ran after Travis, but like Jackie was still standing there. So like, what did she not say anything to Shauna?
I guess she just fucked off. So,
I guess.
But yeah, so they wake up. I think Shauna grabbed like the knife that she used the last episode and kind of like remembers kind of what happened. They make it their way back to the cabin, and everyone's kind of arguing with each other. Jackie's like asking Shauna like, "What the hell happened last night? Like, what the hell are you guys gonna do to Travis?" The Coach Ben is like, "Look, clearly we all did some messed up stuff last night because we were all on shrooms last night." And I like it here because like this is when everyone kind of found out that they were all on shrooms. Like they obviously didn't know it. So this makes so I think everyone thought originally something supernatural was happening, but then like they kind of realized, oh, we were on shrooms. So to them, that's probably all they think that happened, and it's revealed, that everyone kind of figures out that Misty had the shrooms, and Misty like randomly gets upset about at that random background character for like stealing her shrooms and putting it like in the soup, which was just okay. That's just weird. And then she's like, "I was gonna use it."
I thought Misty was real dumb. And she's like, "It wasn't. Listen, I didn't mean to drug you guys. I just meant to drug Ben."
Yeah.
And I'm like, Misty, why do you talk?
Yeah. And then like. And again, like I said, like was she gonna give Ben every like shroom that was in there? Because there was a good amount of shrooms in there. I don't know what was gonna happen.
Yeah. And I get the bear showed up to kind of interrupt the conversation, but like again, I kind of wish someone was like, Misty. So what you were gonna like? What were you gonna do once he was high? You gonna fucking like rape him? Because again, I questioned that last episode. I'm like, is that like what's implied that she was gonna do?
And again, like like you said, like would he just overdose if she gave him all of them? Like, 'cause that was clearly the intention that she was going to give him all the shrooms. So
Yeah.
But yeah, so then I like what Misty says here though. So I want to make sure I mentioned Misty like mentions that like Ben like play with her emotions and like pretend that like he liked her I guess to get sympathy, but like that's not what happened at all. Like that's not what happened at all. Like
Yeah, I am kind of glad no one bought Misty's like bullshit.
Yeah.
Because I mean, everyone kind of knew Misty was like creeping on Ben.
Yeah. So then the bear shows.
Well, sorry, real quick. Obviously, I get why Jackie's kind of like focusing on Shauna, but like it is weird that like Jackie didn't say anything to Lottie, considering Lottie was like the one egging Shauna on.
Yeah, that was. I'm glad she said something later to like Lottie, I guess, but.
Yeah, and at first I was mad at Ben because Ben was like, "All right, guys, everyone, calm down. Clearly, we all did stuff we regret." I was like, "Ben, what the fuck?" And then I remembered, like, "Oh yeah, right. Ben doesn't like know like exactly what happened. Like he was like away from everyone."
Yeah.
So, and like later on, legit, like when Jackie like goes into more detail, Ben is like, "Whoa, what happened?" So I'm okay with what Ben said because like I forgot that like he just thinks everyone was like acting stupid. He doesn't know that like Travis almost got murdered.
Right. So then, so everyone's kind of arguing with each other, and before really anything else can happen, a bear shows up. And
not just any bear, a bad CGI bear.
Better than the wolves, I would say, though. I would say better than the wolves.
Yeah, but I don't know. I still was like, that does not look great.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad. Like I will say this, like next season we don't get a lot of animals, obviously because it's winter and stuff. I think that's a good choice for a little while. Like they need to work on the CGI. But, I think get a new CGI guy.
Just like the wolves, this bear died like a bitch.
At least this bear was injured though. Like these wolves were fully healthy and everything like that. So
yeah.
But yeah, everyone's scared of the bear, as you would be. Even though I don't know why Taissa was.
I like how you said like you had to like like you had to point that out. Like I know this might be shocking, but all of them are scared of the bear. Who would have thought?
Then again, I don't know why Taissa kind of is because she just took on like a pack of wolves pretty much. I think.
I know Taissa, the fucking animal slayer. She just walked up to that bear and fucking murdered him herself.
Yeah, except Lottie though. Lottie's. That's why I did mention everyone's scared of the bear because I was gonna say except Lottie.
Yeah, I know. I was just making a joke.
Yeah. And Lottie, just being Lottie, kind of like gives like the bear like a murder face, and then goes up like the bear collapses, lays on the ground, and we see that the bear's been hurt. He's got an injury. Or she. It could be a she. I can't discriminate. Could be a she.
Oh, and did you just assume that bear's gender? In 2020, in 1996, Owen, come on.
I was born in 1996. Okay, so I didn't even.
Yeah, true. You're only 1 year old. You're only 1 year old. You don't know any better.
And then Lottie grabs the knife. I think she asked for it, and then she like got it, so that's good. Good. At least she asked. That was nice of her.
Yeah.
And then murders the bear. And
yeah, she did this so easily. Like literally one. I mean, I'm presumably it's a sharp knife, but still one like starving 16-year-old high school girl, one stab, and the bear's done. I'm like, all right, that was a little.
Oh, you know what? That since you said she's 16, that could be what. I could be why.
Well, I mean, I'm just assuming she's like 16, 17.
Well, if she says 16, that could explain why. A scene later because we complained about something off air. Like that could explain.
Oh right. I mean, again, I was just assuming her roughly age. She could be 18. I don't know exactly.
But then obviously this is implied that she knew this because I think we forgot to mention it last episode because last episode was pretty weird. Not kiss this weird, but weird. Is
nothing can be that weird.
I assume I hate to say it. I think something. The next episode.
There's probably something out there that fucking gives Kiss Sis a run for its money, unfortunately.
Yeah. I hate to say it, the next episode of Kiss Sis has a weird title name. Like, that's not gonna be good. That's not good.
Oh, God. I haven't even looked, so hopefully, fucking Christ.
But yeah. So, Yeah, we last episode Lottie like mentioned
Lottie, the bear slayer.
yeah. Last episode Lottie mentioned that like they weren't gonna go hungry for very long. And obviously here, this kind of shows I think there's something supernatural going on with Lottie, because obviously this bear just showed up like this episode, and then she killed the bear. So the reason I think that's like the main reason Lottie wasn't like scared of the bear like everybody else was. Like it seemed like she knew that the bear was coming. Although I think like I feel like there should have been some fear, because she said there was, unless she had the vision that the bear was going to be injured. We don't know the vision, because again, Lottie has visions but does nothing about them. As we've heard in the past, because you know there was a sex scandal going on apparently in school, and Lottie knew about it, but said nothing.
And Lottie predicted it, but apparently didn't do anything about it. Yeah,
she just let that shit happen. By the way, that shit was happening like, I like to think, because like you said, if Lottie's 18 right now, that shit was probably going on like since like Lottie was a freshman in high school, and Lottie didn't say a thing. So
yeah, that is a good point.
You know, good. You know, again, you know that requires Lottie to have a conversation with people. You know, it's whatever. Yeah. Overall, like I did.
Oh yeah, I forgot. She still hasn't told anyone she has schizophrenia.
And what if she tells people in the presence? We'll see.
She just never brings it up.
But
well, again, I don't think the show itself is not even brought up that it's schizophrenia specifically.
Yeah, again, that's like a wiki thing. So.
Yeah. Oh, and if you never told me that, I would have had no idea.
I know that changed of perception of like episode like 5 too, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
So, overall, I like this obviously because you know this ends up becoming better later because they were clearly building like Lottie up. Obviously, the only thing I didn't like about this scene was, like you said, the fake CGI like bear type. Like that's one thing Yellowjackets I think should just stop doing. If you're not going to use real animals, then just don't just leave animals out of the show.
I mean, I get why they didn't use a real bear, but it's just like you don't have the budget to make this look realistic, or at the very least, just like I don't know, just kind of don't have the bear like the focus of the camera,
Well, also, I know you say they can't get real, but don't forget they have bears in like zoos. You could probably train like a bear to like be around like people, like
Yeah, true. I guess.
Yeah.
But again, as I said, it's just like Lottie with like one arm fucking murdered the bear like easily.
I do have to say I do like. Remember you say I think you said I don't know if you said this off camera or on camera because I forget. I probably mentioned it like in the most kid-friendly way of what Lottie did to like this bear. Like everybody else has probably like talked about this in like a scientific like type of way, and I just mentioned Lottie killed a bear. Like that's all I even like said. Like I didn't really like go into
she fucking with one hand, like didn't even use both hands. One hand was just like cha, like she did it like she was fucking cutting an apple, just like cha, like that's it.
It's pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty cool. It does make sense because of Lottie's vision, though, so I'm not going to completely hate on it. So,
I guess it's kind of going back to like the wolf thing. Like, remember when Ben was like, "Oh, wolves in a pack can kill anything," and then the wolves got made into like a bitch. Right. It's just we've only seen like 2 animals out here, and they've both been dealt with like so easily,
The bear I don't have an issue with because, like, the bear was injured ahead of time, and they didn't build up this bear like the whole season. And then they ended up being.
We'll give our like season rating at the end of at the end of this review, but I guess it's just one of my criticisms is like, there hasn't been much. Like I figured, when you told me like, oh, it's a bunch of like teenagers in like the woods stranded, I was expecting more of them having to deal with like like predators and like stuff trying to hunt them.
Nope. Well, they deal with it just pretty easily. They deal with it, so
yeah, pretty easily.
If it was Wash. I'd totally buy it. I'd totally buy it if it was Wash.
Yeah, I know, just easily, just like, well, that's done and done. Well, no, he would fake die and then come back.
Oh yeah, that's true. He's done that a lot.
Yeah.
Then the next scene, everybody else is like cutting up the bear and like obviously cooking it up and getting it ready. Misty wants to contribute and like help. Everybody else like cook, but obviously no one wants Misty's help because they don't want to get drugged again. So
reminds me of that meme. Wait, let her cook.
Actually, you'll have to send me that meme. I don't know that meme. So
it's not for Misty specifically, but it's like when somebody's like on a roll and someone wants to like interrupt them, they're like, no, wait, let them cook.
But yeah, I liked this. I did remember this. I do like that. Like, no one really wants Misty to help now, and that's like the main reason Misty like destroyed the the navigation like thing in the beginning. Now
she destroyed it because she was like popular out here, and then now no one's like wants to fuck with her.
Yeah, especially Ben.
Especially then, I did. Yeah. Good point.
I that you could make two jokes out of it. What I just said too can be made out of two jokes too. So,
yeah.
And then the only one that's not helping is Thaisa. But I think it's just it's just kind of doing her own thing. Van goes up. I think we also forgot to mention this the last episode because again, last episode was so crazy. You might have mentioned it. I just forgot that like last episode. Like, Van isn't wearing, like, the tape anymore. She's, like, and, like, the mask. She's, like, full on, like, showing her face. And we see she has, like, the scars from when she got, like, eaten by the wolf.
I kind of wish that lasted a little longer. That was only, like, one episode.
Well, they all have mushrooms, man. Like, you're going to do a lot of... That's probably the only reason she took her mask off.
True. With everything going on, Van's face is, like, on the low end of people's priorities.
But they have a conversation I forgot about that, like, talked about your conspiracy theory that you had, like, at the end of episode 6.
Yeah, I was really happy this was brought up, yeah. So I was like, it's weird that they, like, got that whole pyre going for Van and, like, didn't notice that she was dead.
Well,
that she was alive.
But let's talk about it. So Van comes up and, Thaisa, like, instantly knows, like, something's on Van's mind, so, like, she pretty much asked her to talk about it, and Van's like, I'm not exactly sure what happened, but I think there was a she doesn't say it, but this is pretty much what she says without saying it. Like, a supernatural experience happened to me because it felt like I was, like, dead, but then something, like, brought me back to life. I do like that Van doesn't really know what to talk about, though, because she doesn't say it the way I say it. She says it, obviously, like, she doesn't know what's going on. And obviously, Thaisa doesn't believe it. She just thinks like Van like is either in shock or she had like a near-death experience and thinks she knows what happened.
Yeah, and that makes sense because Tice has been shown to be like skeptical and like doesn't want to accept like supernatural things.
And at one point Thaisa kind of makes like a joke, and I like that Van shoots it down right away and just like, if you're not going to accept this, then what do we like? She pretty much says like, what are we doing here? And this is kind of like. Thaisa doesn't believe it, but this kind of gets like Thaisa to like see Van's point of view type of thing and give Van like a hug and kind of
she like starts to take it more seriously. She stops joking around and she's like, "Hey, Van, like we'll be okay, like seriously."
But I
do like that. Van kind of brings up that Thaisa like is trying to like act like she knows everything that's going on out here, but like she doesn't.
Yeah, but I like this.
Because like I feel like when Thaisa was joking around, well, it was partly to kind of like make Van feel better, but like. I think it was mainly to like make herself feel better.
Yeah.
Like acting like there's like nothing, like, she knows what's up, which I can't blame her, like she's like trying to comfort herself.
But I liked this. I like that this was brought up. And I kind of hope we get more of this type of thing. Obviously we get this at the end, which makes the thing that happens with Van at the end make more sense. So I liked that Van's kind of starting to believe. Because obviously too, I don't think we mentioned this when she got like attacked by the wolves and everything like that. She was like wearing that like necklace that like Lottie gave her of like the tooth or whatever. And that like, was that the supernatural thing that like brought Van back or something like that type of thing. So then everybody's downstairs.
Sorry, real quick. This scene obviously explains why we see Van with two other people at the like the last scene of the season.
Yeah. Downstairs, everyone's getting ready to eat the bear. They ask like, what about Natalie and Travis? And obviously Coach Ben's like, they can just eat when they get back. We'll save some for them. Everybody starts praying, but before that, because I forget if it happens before or afterwards. It seems like it'd be something that happens before because of everything that happens afterwards. I think it was Van. I forget who asked, but someone asked like Lottie, like how she knew like they weren't gonna go hungry, and before Lottie can really answer, Thaisa like cuts her off. I don't think Lottie was gonna answer anyways, but whatever.
Yeah.
And like says it doesn't.
Oh, Lottie explaining that she's like schizophrenic or like is seeing visions. Owen, come on.
The fact that she even has to like think about it, type of thing. It's like, I like to think that she's like in her head thinking like, do I tell him this time or do I just like, is this not the day to tell them, type of thing.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so I get from Lottie's point of view, she doesn't think she's schizophrenic. But, like, I'm saying it is crazy. She's, like, hasn't brought up, like, hey, by the way, I, like, see visions.
Well, like you said, like,
Well, she brought it up to the one person who's gonna fucking tell her that, like, oh, yeah, you're, like, God is sending you message.
But, yeah, it doesn't mention she hasn't had her meds in, like, well, probably a month at this point by now, type of thing. Maybe
more than a month, dude. They've been out there for, like, 4 months now. That shit probably ran out, like, in the first month.
Yeah. That they didn't tell us about.
Yeah.
But I did like Thaisa cut her off, and she's just like, it doesn't matter how it happened. And during this whole scene, the prayer and everything like that, Thaisa I don't think like believes in this stuff, but she's kind of making an effort, and she's really doing it more so for like Van, which I actually kind of like. Like she's actually like participating, and she's not participating because she wants to. She's kind of doing it to kind of, because she's thinking of Van type of thing, which I actually liked. So.
And I like that because that's a big contrast to how Thaisa is in the present day with Simone, where she is like not meeting in the middle like at all.
Yeah. And doing all this, Jackie though really isn't participating. Like everyone kind of holds hands doing this, and Jackie doesn't like Misty goes for Jackie's hand, and Jackie doesn't hold Misty's hand. Which honestly, even if I was gonna participate, I don't think I would hold Misty's hand either. So I can't really blame her there. So.
Right, Misty's like holding her hand out, and everyone's like, yeah, no.
And then Jackie doesn't really say anything in the prayers, and before they were about to eat the bear,
well, I also thought they didn't pray to like they prayed to like a forest spirit. I remember like whoever was like speaking, I forget if it was Van or Lottie, but they said like we prayed to like the forest spirit or something.
Yeah.
So it seems like they're not even really praying to like the Christian God or anything. They're praying to like whatever is out there with them.
Yeah, definitely. Which we don't know. We still don't know who that is yet. Whether that's Yeah.
Owen, it kind of explained. I thought somebody we see later on was like this thing, and then I had to like look it up for the actor, and I was like, oh, never mind. I'm just a dumbass.
Yeah. So then Jackie, well, after they're kind of done praying and everything like that, before they go to eat the bear. Misty rats out Jackie the fact that like she didn't like participate in the prayer, which I just love the fact that it was Misty because everything that I noticed, every bad thing that happens to this people, it's all Misty's fault. The shrooms thing,
yeah,
Coach Ben like not losing his leg, but like the poisonous thing with Coach Ben, obviously like. Destroying the navigation so that way.
The tracker. Yeah.
There's something to miss. There's another.
I'm like really Misty. You got the gall to be pointing shit out at other people.
Yeah, but she points out that like Jackie didn't participate like in the prayer, and Jackie kind of like finally kind of snaps and calls out how bullshit this is, and like talks about like. How everyone's kind of acting differently. They're like pretty much like I'll give it in to like whatever the supernatural like thing is or whatever's going on with them. And then she kind of finally calls out like what they were about to do to Travis, and she asked like Shauna what she was gonna do to Travis. And Shauna, because I think Shauna's even still like in shock what she was gonna do to Travis, because Shauna really won't talk.
Yeah, because I do like how Shauna's like I don't know.
Yeah,
like because. Seems like she wasn't even like in control of her actions. Like she like snapped out of it when Natalie and Jackie showed up.
Yeah. So then, Jackie like says, "Well, it looks like you're about to, And then this is when Shauna finally snaps. It's like, "Well, what did you think I was about to do?" And then she kind of blames Jackie for like, pretty much going to have sex with Travis, because if you hadn't had sex with him, like we probably wouldn't have like, I guess reacted that way.
If you hadn't fucked Travis, we would not have tried to cut his head off.
That's pretty much what it was.
With Owen, I'll like message him after I finish an episode, because remember this is like my first time going through these, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I like this, I didn't like that, whatever. my first thing I texted Owen was like, they have the gall to be like, Jackie, you fucked Travis, so you're just as bad as us for trying to fucking sacrifice him to like the forest spirit.
Yeah. So then I like that Jackie doesn't get that's what Jackie probably should have said. But what Jackie actually says when she's like, "Oh, we're gonna talk about that now." Well, how about the fact that you were fucking Jeff behind my back? Like, that's kind of
that is true. When Shauna said that, I was like, Shauna, really, you're talking about Jackie sleeping with someone she shouldn't have.
And Shauna realizes that it was Jackie that read her journal. I am kind of confused. Did they do a scene like this though? Because like they didn't show like that Shauna found out someone read a journal. Like, they didn't really
Yeah, I was confused when she was like, "Oh my god, it was you who read my journal." I was like, "Wait, what?" Like, I didn't even know you realized someone read your journal.
Yeah, because they do the scene with Harvey. But by the way, nothing came of that. By the way, remember, like you said, he was gonna make it like an art sculpture. Like, nothing came of it. We never saw like what he was making.
Well, what do you think he's missing? He's off in the woods making his little sculpture.
Yeah, maybe. But like
Natalie and Travis find him like, "Oh my god, Harvey, we were so worried about you. What happened?" He's like, "What do you mean? I was just making my art."
But like, that is kind of weird though. They didn't show like a scene where like Shauna like found out like someone would they should have showed that, like, because I know they say like I know sometimes show don't tell, like they could have done it off screen, but like that seems like something you should like show, because like there's obviously, because I don't know how like Shauna would have realized someone read a journal unless like that could be...
I mean, I guess maybe she didn't realize someone read her journal, but just like she put two and two together, like the only way Jackie would have found out is if she read the journal.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. The way she said it made it seem like she suspected someone read the journal.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, and like that's a scene.
Well, actually, wait a minute. I just realized. So as we're gonna find out, as we found out, Tice and Natalie and them didn't know Shauna kept journals. What happened out there?
Right.
But we find out, like obviously everyone was there during this conversation where Shauna talked about journals. She had a journal.
That's a continuity then.
Well, I don't know. It's odd, but I guess you could explain that like they didn't know Shauna kept the journal, or like they didn't know Shauna was like still writing in the journal, I guess.
Yeah. I kind of hope that's explained, because that is going to be kind of weird where like if they know Shauna's been writing in the journal the whole time, and then like after the plane crash they didn't like say like, Shauna, you got to burn the journal type of thing, Yeah,
that is weird.
Or like maybe I hope they do something where like they think Shauna, burnt the journal.
Yeah, like they tell Shauna to burn it, and she like just like fakes it, and she actually holds on to it.
Yeah. But then and they take some pretty bad jabs at each other. Jackie talks about like, how Shauna's been like jealous of her, which is what, I like that they kind of take jabs, and the jabs that they say is like stuff that like fans have like theorized of why Shauna does the actions that she does, and like why Jackie's the way she is. I kind of like the jabs that they were taking at each other. It's like fan theories type of things. So.
Oh yeah, this was another thing. I think in episode 1 I said like when she slept with Jeff, I said like I don't think she's in love with Jeff. I think it's more about Jackie.
Yeah.
And like this what Jackie says here kind of makes me like confirm that, where like she was more so sleeping with Jeff because she was like sick of being like in Jackie's shadow.
I like Shauna's speech, where she mentions, I don't hate you. I don't want to be you, Jackie. I'm like, and
like she feels bad for her because she like peaked in high school.
Yeah.
Which again, I think is funny because as we know, and knowing the future, we know Shauna peaked in high school.
Yeah. And I like one line that Shauna mentions. I forgot was there. I feel like this one was a bit bullshit. It was just Shauna heard it, and I like Shauna mentions like Jackie's like the one that she always like does everything that Jackie wants. Like goes to all the parties and everything like that. And I like that she mentions like I hate soccer. So in a way, she's kind of blaming Jackie a little bit about why she's even on the plane crash in a weird way, because she mentions I don't even like soccer. So it seems like Jackie like talked her into joining the soccer team.
I do like Jackie's response where she's like, well, I forget her exact wording, but she's like, okay, you can't, like Shauna never brought any of this up with Jackie, like you can't really blame Jackie. Like like, yeah, I remember Jackie said, like, you could have said no,
Yeah.
you know? Like, that's kind of the thing, like, you can't really blame Jackie for all the shit wrong in her life because you can't, like, stand up for yourself a little bit.
And then Shauna finally stands up for herself.
Not even stand up for herself, just tell Jackie, like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. And then Shauna, because as we saw earlier in the episode, like in season 1, when Shauna's picking out her clothes, like, Jackie's kind of like shutting it down and everything like that. So,
Yeah. And I think Shauna was kind of full of shit when she said, like, I don't want to be you, Jackie. Like, I'm pretty sure Shauna's whole thing is she wants to be Jackie.
Yeah. So then, Jackie, like, quotes, like, a big show that was probably popular back then, like, New Girl. I don't think it wasn't New Girl, but it's like a show like that where she quotes a popular phrase and Shauna sees, like, right through it, which I thought was pretty funny. And Shauna's just like...
Yeah, I thought it was a little weird to, like, place that joke in there, like, during this, like, serious argument.
And Shauna, like, talked about how Jackie's just like a cliche. She's like the cliche popular girl. You need everyone to, like, love you and everything like that. And you could definitely tell this finally hurt Jackie, because you could tell this is when Jackie finally is about to, like, kick Shauna out. Like, she even says, like, I can't even stand to be around you right now. Like, you could tell this line really stuck into Jackie's craw, pretty much.
Yeah, well, I also like this because, the vision we see of Jackie, like, shortly after this, like, that, I think Shauna also kind of hit the nail on the head with that.
Yeah.
And, yeah, Jackie's actress did a great job, like, where she was, like, you could tell she was, like, on the verge of tears.
And, Jackie tries to kick Shauna out, but Shauna's just like, no. Like, kind of finally standing up for yourself. Like, I'm not going to, like, leave, and you're not going to be, like, the popular girl that kicks me out. Like, pretty much she tells her to get out, and everyone kind of takes, like, Shauna's side a little bit here. Like, they kind of are like, yeah, we don't really need you anymore, kind of showing, like, the group kind of thinks themselves like they've evolved past Jackie, because Jackie, the whole show, they were setting up that Jackie was, like, the team leader, and everything like that. So, like, everyone kind of, like, is done with Jackie. The biggest thing I missed, I want to make sure I mention, is before the argument gets, like, really bad like this, Coach Ben, like, tried to step in, like, at one point, like, when Shauna was about to kick out, like, Jackie, like, Coach Ben's like, no one's leaving, and Lottie's just like, stay out of it, Coach. Like, it seems like Lottie kind of wanted this to kind of fall apart, like, this was kind of Lottie's plan or something like that.
Yeah, especially with what Lottie said last episode about, like, Jackie no longer being needed.
So it seems like
it legit makes me, and especially because Lottie has, like, visions and shit. It makes me think Lottie, like, knew Jackie. If Jackie went out there, she would die.
Yeah, and she didn't do anything. Again, because Lottie doesn't do anything to stop. She has these visions and doesn't do anything about it. But this was more malicious. Like, she did nothing to, like, stop this. Like, typically, like.
Oh yeah, well, it's more than not doing nothing. It is, like, actively preventing it from, like, Ben tried to calm the situation down, and she prevented him from doing. So it's more than just not doing nothing. It's, like, full on, like actively making things worse.
Yeah.
And also because I brought up Ben didn't know the whole situation. I do like that, like, when Jackie brought up, like, Shauna, you had a knife at his throat. Ben was like, whoa, what?
Yeah, I liked that. That was good. And then Jackie leaves. She leaves the cabin. And she brings out, like, a, I was just saying air mattress, but it's a sleeping bag. I don't even think
they had an air mattress on the plane. Like, somehow that survived the fucking crash.
I don't even think they had air mattresses back then. So,
air? I don't know, actually.
Yeah. But yeah. So then Jackie, sits down and she's trying to start a fire. She brought a match out there, but the lighter's not working. And you can see that it's getting colder. And Shauna's looking out the window, like, questioning whether or not, like, she wants to go out there and make things right. And Thaisa even, like, tries to be like, just go talk to her, but, like, Shauna just still doesn't do it. She just goes to bed. And when it cuts, I will say this because we can't talk about this, doing this whole thing with, like, them eating the bear, doing the prayer, and, like, Jackie's and Shauna's fight. They were showing stuff, like, in the present, like, talking about, like, the Yellowjacket like plane crash and everything like that. And I thought,
Yeah, so this was like good cuts, like like matching up past and present pretty well.
especially the Jackie stuff, because they were mentioning like Jackie a lot doing this. So I like
Yeah.
that.
Well, so you said that you kind of figured Jackie was gonna end up at this point because of what they were saying in the present. I just figured they were matching that because of her and Shauna's relationship got like ruined. And they're talking about how like great Jackie is, and we see like present day Shauna's face is like very sad.
Yeah.
Because I assumed they were gonna kill off Jackie next season.
Yeah, definitely. But that
And then
wasn't the
you,
case.
you told me they only signed the actress on for this one season, obviously. But I didn't know that.
Yeah. So.
But once we get to the scene where Shauna comes out and like says sorry, come inside, then I kind of put together like, oh, okay, I see what's happening here.
Yeah. So yeah, Shauna comes out, and she's apologizing to Jackie, saying that like this is stupid, like why are you out here type of thing, like you should like just come inside, we'll just put it behind us, which Jackie does, and everything looks good, everyone's kind of like comforted Jackie,
Yeah, everyone's like in a half circle, being like, oh, we love you, Jackie, thank you. And I like that because it ties into what Shauna said to Jackie, where like she's obsessed with everyone loving her.
yeah. So then Jackie gets hot chocolate from somebody, and she's even like questioned like, how do you guys have hot chocolate, like how did you make this? And I think that's the sign that like, yep, this isn't real, because they're like, how the hell would they have hot chocolate out there type of thing. Yeah. So everyone's kind of saying we love you, Jackie, and then we see Laura finally, and this is kind of like when we're like, yep, this is just a vision. And then she pans over, and we see this guy that you kind of talked. I think you kind of talked about the story already, but you could say it again after I break down the scene. And he just says, "Now I think he says, now you can join us, or now you can come with us." Basically implying like Jackie's gonna die, pretty much type of thing, because as we looked up.
And yeah, well, once she saw Laura, the face she was making, you could definitely tell she kind of like, she looked around and like at Sean and everyone, and then she kind of like pieced together like what was happening.
Yeah. And yeah, this was pretty sad because this pretty much confirmed that Jackie either died at this point, or like it was pretty close to the end. She probably got like hypothermia.
It's interesting because like after this scene, it cuts to like Shauna waking up. So like I was confused. I was wondering if this was like Shauna's dream, or like this was like Jackie died and this is like the afterlife, or if like this was like the last thing Jackie was like thinking of before she died.
Yeah. I also like to think this too, just because it kind of confirms Sean. If it's Jackie's vision, it kind of confirms Shauna's like everything that Shauna said was like true about like Jackie, so that's why it hurts even more type of thing. But then
it's also sad because like the last thing this like fake Shauna says is like, hey, I'm your best friend, right? Like always. And that's sad, because like obviously even though Jackie was like really hurt by what Shauna did, like deep down, like she just wanted Shauna to like be her best friend,
Yeah, and I think we talked about this off camera. Had they not been on this plane crash and had everything, even before like the doom coming, had everything not happened, I think Shauna and Jackie, I don't think they were gonna make up instantly, but I think they could have repaired their like relationship had they not been on this plane crash and all that type of stuff. It'd be tough, but
yeah, even before the doom coming, I feel like if. I don't know, because, Jackie knew when Shauna was hiding it. I feel like, they still would have gotten to a fight, but, like, I feel like, like you said, they could have repaired it,
Yeah. Because the thing is, too, like, before Doom coming, Jackie didn't even bring up the fact that, like, she just talked about how Shauna was pregnant and everything like that. Like, she was being very passive, like, aggressive about it and everything like that. So,
yeah. But she did want to get Shauna help and, like, so she didn't die from childbirth, so... Well, it's weird. Even this episode, if it didn't snow, like I feel like same thing. Like they could have repaired the relationship.
Yeah. But anyhow, let's talk about it. So the next morning, like I said, we saw like a little bit of snow the last episode. So that was kind of setting it up. And we find out that it snowed. And
it did more than snow. It snowed a lot.
Yeah, it was a blizzard. And Sean is obviously panicking. And she rushes out, like goes to check on Jackie, and Jackie the snow, and she's uncovering the snow, and Jackie pretty much froze. Well, I say pretty much, she did freeze to death.
Yeah.
And this is just heartbreaking. Shauna's, obviously heartbroken, realizing that, now they can't really repair the relationship anymore. And the last conversation that, like, Shauna and Jackie, like, had with each other was not a good conversation. So, like, that's pretty much, she kind of pretty much has to live with the fact that, and in a way, like, Shauna and Jackie not getting past, like, their issues, is what killed Jackie.
Yeah, this was, like, the last thing that happened, yeah. I was like this because in previous episode, adult Shauna, like, saw that, like, vision of young Jackie. And I like, what Jackie said, where it's like, it's totally your fault, but, like, we were just kids, like, we couldn't have known.
Yeah.
And Owen sent me a couple, like, interviews with the people who worked on the show. And there was one of, like, after this episode, the actress for adult Shauna got an interview. And she said how, like, the writers were being kind of vague on, like, what happened with Jackie. And she was like, no, you have to tell me, like, specifically what happens, because like if I'm seeing like visions of Jackie, like I want to like know like what like I need to know what happened, because like like the last conversation I have with Jackie is gonna be like on my character's mind,
And I like that that they did tell Shauna, because I feel like that's what made her acting like the actress is like acting to it like that much better.
Right. So like going back to those scenes, it's like, yeah, I can totally buy that. She's like thinking of this argument and like finding Jackie like frozen outside, like during those scenes.
And doing this, Thaisa's the one that like comforts like Shauna doing all this, which I liked. Yeah,
young Shauna did a great job here too. Like I really thought she was heartbroken, and because I wondered like how much did young Shauna like care about Jackie, and like the scene showed, even though she was like a really shitty friend, she is like actually like heartbroken over what happened with Jackie.
Yeah.
Oh, and also last episode, we got a bunch of flashes from Shauna's point of view, and there were two scenes that like I was unsure of. One was like Shauna like brushing off snow from like something, and we couldn't really see what it was, and I think that's what this scene was.
Yeah.
Where she was brushing off the snow off of Jackie's corpse.
But yeah, I liked. I wanted to make sure I mentioned this too. Like, the thing that sucks about this the most was like, pretty much everyone was kind of done with Jackie, like throughout this show. Not like to the point where like they would have kicked her out or anything like that. But because Jackie really wasn't doing a good job of like making friends doing all this. Because she kind of caused Travis and Natalie to break up, and then went and fucked Travis like right when they were about to make amends.
Yeah.
She wasn't pitching in all that much, like, and didn't really try to. But it seemed like Shauna was always the one that was kind of like able to kind of like keep Jackie like in the group and keep Jackie like grounded. Once kind of Shauna and Jackie's like friendship ended, that was pretty much the end of Jackie like being in the group. Pretty much like it was kind of the end of Jackie right there.
Yeah, like you said, it was built up, and like Shauna was kind of like being the peacekeeper between Jackie and everyone else. And then once Jackie, once Shauna's not defending Jackie anymore, like you said, everyone kind of turned on Jackie. But like I still think it's absolutely fucking insane that everyone was like, like turned on Jack. Like Jackie was 100% in the right. And it's funny because you told me like Jackie like gets really unlikable, like how she's like she like gets upset over like a lot of stupid shit, and like with Natalie, like picking a fight with Natalie because she's not getting them food when Jackie was like useless is like Jackie, where the fuck do you get off talk? But like here, I feel like Jackie was 100% in the right.
Yeah,
she had every right to be mad at Shauna and like everyone else. Although Kaisa kind of tried to stand up for Jackie a little bit. Like when Jackie was like leaving to go outside, Taisa was like, "Guys, this is stupid. Like, don't." And then Jackie kind of like cut Taisa off, like, "Shut up. You're happy I'm leaving."
Yeah.
So Taisa didn't really do anything wrong.
Right.
She tried to calm everyone down.
You mentioned the Natalie thing. Picture how the scene would have gone too, because if Natalie had been there, I feel like Natalie would have been able to be the peacekeeper here. Because Natalie and Travis weren't there, so like, would Natalie have turned on her? Because I think Natalie always seems like someone that would have like.
Yeah, Natalie doesn't like Jackie, but like I feel like she could have like kept the peace. Like I feel like she wouldn't have turned on Jackie.
Also, I wanted to like, mention like, where it's on Jackie a little bit. Is it by the point? You have to just let the high school shit go type of thing. Like, you're fucking freezing to death.
Yeah, like I was saying, like it's kind of crazy that like don't get me wrong, like if your best friend sleeping with your boyfriend and like getting pregnant, that's a big deal. But like like Jackie starts off like you were going to murder Travis, like you went fucking nuts and almost killed somebody, and then it kind of devolves into like their personal beef between each other.
And like at that point, like. Do you really want to cost yourself your own life because you can't put all high school drama?
True, and that's the thing. Yeah. Jackie could have came inside and like like she, it is Shauna definitely has responsibility in this, but at the same time Jackie kind of got herself killed.
Yeah. So I like to think of like that and everything like that.
And it's also like like. Jackie, okay, so you're like, just what are you gonna do? You're gonna hang outside and for forever until you die?
Right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he said she did. But like but you get my idea. We're like, she's a stupid high school girl, not fucking thinking clearly.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, by the way, too, we didn't really talk about this. This fight just happened to happen at the one time of night, like the one day, like this fight had this fight happen the night before. Just imagine how different the show would be, because like obviously this is where like you can't see like the weather and stuff. Shauna and Jackie could have had this fight the first night.
Well, Javi again. Javi has a phone full of bars. He could have checked the weather.
He's not there though.
No, Javi did check the weather. That's why he left. He went to go buy a jacket.
Yeah, but like in all seriousness, had this fight happened any other night, this could have happened before Doom coming. This could have happened episode 4. It just happened to be the night before that, like, they snowed. Like, that's what the most heartbreaking thing about this, like, scene is. Like, this fight could have happened.
Right. And I want to get... part of it makes me wonder how much of this is, like, just coincidence. And then again, what Lottie said of, like, we don't need you anymore. It does make me wonder, like, okay, was this, like, intentional by, like, this whatever supernatural thing is, like, was out to get Jackie? Yeah.
And I have a theory here, by the way, like... because you can't really see it because they're kind of in the background. What was Natalie and Travis's reaction? Because obviously they had to have known Jackie was outside. Like, was Jackie already dead when they came back? Or, like...
I didn't even realize Travis and Natalie were back.
Yeah, they were in the background. Like, I didn't... My uncle had to point
I didn't even notice.
My uncle pointed this out to me, like, after I watched it the first time, and then you watch them. I tried to rewind it to see them, but I think they kept them in the background, so we couldn't see... So I like to think, like, did Natalie already know, like... Did she come back and, like... Was Jackie dead, and was she just gonna try to break the news to Shauna like the next day or whatever, or like did like?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, I mean, it was covered in snow, so maybe she just like didn't see her.
Yeah, because she seemed pretty heartbroken, but like I am interested to see like what, because they went around doing this whole episode type of thing. So like,
yeah, Travis might be so confused. This poor guy. Listen, he got laid. Fucking everyone fucking went ape shit and tried to murder him. He goes missing he goes looking for his brother. He comes back, and the girl he had sex with fucking is frozen to death.
Can I tell you something?
He must be like, what the fuck is happening?
Can I tell you something fucked up too? Jackie could have very well been pregnant too, because we didn't see that Travis put on any protection. So there could have been 2 deaths there.
Oh, true. Yeah. Are you showing up? Because your camera just went off on my end.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good on my... You did freeze for a second on my end, so...
Okay. Well, for me, there's no picture, but whatever. We'll keep going.
But you did hear.
You're the one recording.
Yeah, you did hear me, right? I said like there could have been.
Yeah. Jackie could have been pregnant. Well, I mean, she would have only had sex with Travis like 2 days ago. So, like, whatever, it would have been like in the fucking earliest stage possible.
I'm just saying that's still kind of fucked up a little bit. Like that she could have been pregnant.
Yeah, like if Jackie lived, like maybe she was pregnant. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's everything in the past.
That would have been interesting. Yeah. If Jackie lived and she was pregnant with Travis's kid, because I'm sure that would cause issues with Natalie.
Yeah. But yeah, then
would have been a cool parallel to Shauna too.
Yeah. Then that I said that was the end of the past, but no, it wasn't. There's one more thing. The prayer at the end. So Lottie brings up the bear's hoat to the.
Oh, sorry, real quick. Because the vision, Jackie. So I didn't say my little story.
Oh yeah.
So we see a guy. When Jackie sees Laura and kind of puts together like, oh shit, like you're dead, and then we see a guy like in the background, kind of like obscured by the dark. And he says like, you're with us now or something. The way like it looks so sinister and like they're hiding his face. I thought, especially because Jackie didn't like see what the hunter looked like. I thought this was like the entity that's out there. And I was like, oh, this is interesting because like whatever this thing is, we like I assume like, oh, it's it was never human. It's like a god or spirit or whatever. I'm like, oh shit. So is this like somebody was out here, they died, and they became like whatever this thing is? And I thought this guy was played by Michael Hall, who is known as Dexter. The TV show. I'm like, oh, that's good casting because he's like does a good job playing like a sinister serial killer. And then I looked it up. No, I'm a dumbass. This guy's not played by Michael Hall. And when I looked it up, it confirmed this is like the hunter, the guy who owned the cabin.
Yeah.
So we still have no clue on what this thing is. And I guess I guess the hunter's ghost is like just out here still.
Yeah, they had to tell you like they don't do anything really with this vision in season 2. Yeah. But like we're supposed to get
I guess on a rewatch it makes it a bit easier to get that this is like the cabin owner. But that wasn't super clear, I feel like.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna look it up, and then when you told me there's not really a follow up on it, I was like, okay, I guess I'll just look it up.
Yeah. Because I did have to say, like, they're supposed to do, like, a mini-sode, because they only did 9 episodes in season 2. But then, they're supposed to do, like, a mini-sode. I don't even know when, because, like, they keep saying it's supposed to happen, like, about the guy in the cabin, like, before the show comes back. But obviously, I think, too...
Well, hopefully it doesn't end up like that Walking Dead one. I think I told you about this, where Sam Witwer did an interview where he was supposed to, like, play a soldier during like the zombie apocalypse that happened during Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And he was going to be like the zombie Rick found in like a tank.
Okay.
I think I sent you that interview, but well, I'm just saying he was going to be like the star of a whole special, like during how he got to that position in Walking Dead, and then that got like axed.
I wonder if this got axed too, though, because
that's what I'm saying. Hopefully, it doesn't end up like that.
But I also, because I wonder if they planned on it, but then the writer's strike, don't forget that happened last year, like, before this, so I'm wondering, like, I wonder if they ever even, like, filmed it or anything like that, if the writer's strike, like, kind of put the kibosh on that type of thing, so...
Yeah, hopefully not.
Yeah. Yeah, then, it will be interesting to see if they do make it, because that's going to change, like, because then, like, if they're going to show, like, the guy's death, because then, like, the guy...
Right, when you brought that up, I assumed, like, we'll learn a lot about, like, what's up with the forest.
Yeah.
Like, from that episode,
Yeah, so I hope they don't axe that, because that's pretty... That's not saying it's...
that could explain a lot,
Yeah. But yeah, that's the end of, we see, the next day, well, it's the same day, but, like, later, we see Lottie carrying the bear's heart over to the tree. And you didn't notice this, but this is the same tree that, like, made them all go, like, messed up when they went on shrooms. And then this is the same tree they woke up, like, next to. So I don't know if there's something supernatural like about this like trio, but this area, because it seems like to bring out the craziness like in them type of thing.
Yeah.
But Lottie puts the the bear's heart like and I mentioned that this tree's like been cut down and like everything like that. So this tree isn't really
it's like a tree hollow.
Yeah. And Lottie puts the heart.
I don't even. It's like a stump hollow.
Yeah. So Lottie puts it into the stump hollow, and like she's just saying like a weird like prayer type of thing. One of the words that she says is the title of this episode, and when you see how those prayers played out, like you see Lottie's kneeling over, you see that Misty's kneeling over, and you see that Van is kneeling over, and Lottie is saying a bunch of things like not in English. One of them is one of the words the title of this episode. And then she says, "May the
if it's like Christian, it's probably like Latin or something."
Yeah, and she says like, "May the darkness like take us" or something like that. I forget exactly what she says at the end.
Very sinister, so obviously implying like Lottie, and another thing is kind of implying that like Lottie's like going to be a major villain for the show.
Yeah, and also like there's implying that like, there's going to be two groups now of like the show now, like the cult like group that Lottie, Van, and Misty, Owen, and then like
I think it makes sense. They've kind of been building that up. Obviously, well, I kind of like what they're doing with Lottie, where Laura kind of like propped her up as like you're like our savior. Like your visions are going to save us, and then now it's kind of like the reverse, where she's kind of like, I guess like like she's supposed to be like the savior, and now she's like the Antichrist essentially.
Right.
To put it into Star Wars, Lottie, you were the chosen one. It was said you would bring balance to the Force, not leave it in darkness.
Pretty much.
Again, you don't know Star Wars, so you don't get the context for that. Van, I think it makes sense because again, she had that near-death experience, and she believes like whatever this supernatural thing is, like brought her back from death.
Yeah.
So, and she was kind of telling Thaisa like she's like kind of getting religious,
and we
so it makes sense she's like worshiping.
And we talked about this off here. What makes this interesting is Van being a part of this gonna be the thing that like breaks up like Thaisa and Van like in the past type of thing? Like, is that gonna?
Because we talked about, I don't know if we brought this up in the last video when we kind of did the math. Because Thaisa mentioned she dated a lot of girls in college, and when they get back, they're gonna be like college age. So like presumably, if Van is alive, like their relationship is gonna be over by the time they like get back to society.
Yeah.
Or Van could be dead, so that is interesting. Like, obviously, like their relationship is not going to last.
And it kind of makes...
I mean, obviously we know because she's married to Simone, but like, that's obviously way farther in the future. Like whatever relationship they have is like going to be short-lived.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like Travis and Natalie where like, obviously Travis died, but like they were together for like a long time.
Yeah.
And then Misty is there. Misty's just like a fucking psycho. I guess Misty was like hiding in the bushes, kind of like, Javi, the man of the bush. Just kind of like watching everything happen last episode.
Right.
So I guess she's just like, damn, this cult shit's awesome. I want in.
Right. But yeah, I'm interested in this. And I do think this is kind of why Jackie had to die this episode. Because remember, I think you remember I said last episode, like, that's like the last time they do really anything like high school related type of thing. And I think Jackie's death has a lot to do with that. That was kind of like the end of like the normality type of thing.
And I think that's good because, like you said, Jackie was kind of like the one who like, she thrived back in high school. But like now out here, she can't really do anything. So yeah, Jackie kind of symbolized that like high school life, that normal life that they're never really going to get back.
And then like now that there's like this cult group like being set up, Jackie kind of can't really be there for it because I feel like Jackie wouldn't really work with what they're trying to set up type of thing.
And I mean, going off of the first scene of the show, they're going to start like hunting each other and like eating each other.
Yeah.
So based on that, I feel like Jackie would have been probably the first one to go.
Right. And then what makes it, you'll talk about why this scene's better at the actual end of the episode, because obviously we find out like a big thing in the present about like Lottie and everything like that. So
yeah.
that's why this scene was a good cutback, like, to it and everything like that. So.
This makes me hyped for season 2. Winter is coming. Or winter is here. Now, there's going to be no animals. There's going to be, they're going to be fucking freezing.
Yeah.
So hopefully, because I think I told Owen, the middle of the season lost me a little bit because, it just kind of felt like everyone was, sitting around. So hopefully next season kind of has a bit more, urgency of, we are in a fight for our lives, every minute,
Yeah.
Obviously, I really liked how we had, 2 escape attempts. Tyson went out into the woods and, Laura took the plane. But, that was kind of it. That was, their only 2 escape attempts. So now it's, they have no hope of really escaping on their own. And, now it's, they could freeze at any moment.
Yeah, so I like that. Overall, before you talk about the present, what'd you think of the past, overall and everything?
I really like the past. Like I said, definitely dealing with the aftermath of last episode. The Jackie and Shauna's fight was a direct result of that. Misty is now even more of an outsider in the group because of the shroom incident. And then obviously Travis and Natalie are they end up reconciling because of the shock of what happened last time. And Javi is missing again. But now it matters to the plot because of the Doom coming.
Does it really matter to the plot though? Does it really? Does it really?
I really hope next episode Javi's still missing and no one really brings it up.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that's good for the plot. The past. Now
before you talk about the present, you'll be happy to know. Remember, I said I was going to get through everything really quickly and everything. We spent almost an hour and a half, an hour and 20 minutes right now talking about the. So I talked for a good while. So now you.
Yeah. I mean, I talked quite a bit too. So there's that. I am setting an alarm to hopefully not talk for the next 3 hours.
Yeah, because you got a lot to talk about. So.
Yeah.
While you talk, I'm gonna hit the restroom because I don't think I'm gonna be able to hold it. So.
Yeah, I gotcha. I'm gonna talk about Misty's stuff with the reporter since that's pretty separate.
Yeah, why not? Just talk. Just talk. I gotta pee, dude.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. So Misty's plot, it does a good job wrapping up. Because she's had this fucking reporter stuck in her goddamn basement for multiple episodes. Again, I was waiting for Ben to be down there for the last 20 years. Or, the reporter was still going to be in there season 2. Well, I did say last episode I assumed the reporter subplot would be wrapped up this episode because it would be weird if she was still down there going into season 2. And sure enough, I kind of figured Misty was going to kill her because, Misty just, I would have a hard time believing she was just going to let the reporter go. The reporter speaking with Misty about how they kind of come to an agreement. They're going to do a book deal, and Misty's going to tell what happened out there, sell her story, and you could assume that Misty was actually going to go through with the deal until Natalie showed up and kind of patched things up, and then. But I don't think Misty ever had any intention of actually selling her story. Yeah, sure enough, after Misty helps Natalie and goes to the prom, the reunion. Hey Owen, I'll wait for him to get his headphones back on.
So turn my camera
I was just saying.
I usually do that, but I had to pee so bad.
I was just saying how Misty was going over the book deal with the reporter, and you could argue she was gonna go through with it until she patched things up with Natalie, but I don't think she ever had any intention of actually working with the reporter.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Because the reporter was saying oh, your friends never come to you, you should sell your story, and then Natalie showed up. But even then, I don't think even if Natalie didn't actually show up to make things right with Misty, I don't think Misty was actually gonna actually work with the reporter.
Do you think the reporter was genuine about all the stuff she was offering? Because we find out as we know, the reporter's just working with like Thaisa and everything like that. And I know she told Misty.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like, well, she told Misty that, even though Misty didn't believe her. And then, like, she was driving. If I was that reporter, I would have fucking called 911 right away. But she was, like, driving away.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't immediately. So I'm kind of curious, if the reporter was actually going to work with Misty, or if she was going to just, like, immediately go to the cops and be like, hey, Misty's a psycho bitch who held me hostage.
Not even just that, but just, like, tell, like, Thaisa, like, hey, you have nothing to worry about, and, like, kind of bullshit with Misty about, like, all the ideals and everything like that. Like, yeah, I'm trying to meet with, like, kind of, like, bullshit with Misty about, like, the ins and outs type of thing.
Yeah, I'm a little curious on what the reporter exactly was going through her head.
Yeah.
Because obviously her main priority was getting out of Misty's basement. But, like, how much of the book deal was actually being, like, genuine? I mean, she did say she has a really shitty job of, like, she deals with a lot of bullshit from, like, rich, powerful people who hire her. So, the book deal would have let her just fucking retire.
Right.
So, I mean, I could kind of buy that she was genuine. But yeah, I don't think she had any intention of like, buying the story.
I'm also getting the vibe, I don't know if Misty, like, would have worked with the reporter, especially to, with what we see happen later on in the... See, that's the thing. I don't have the perspective of season 2. Like, I can't really answer.
Yeah, true. The reveal that Misty is, like, involved in Lonnie's, like, cult, like, kind of changes. Like, okay, so, like, how much? Yeah, but yeah, even without that reveal, I don't think Misty was going to work with the reporter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am interested in what the reporter says. So she says, so you guys, like, ate each other, right? Like, she says that, but, like, it seems like it was unprompted. Like, it seems like Misty didn't really say anything.
Right.
So it seems like, that's just, like, the conclusion the reporter came to.
Mm-hmm.
And then Misty is like, she doesn't confirm nor deny. But the way the reporter kind of just, like, says that so casually, it makes it seem like that wasn't, that, like, it doesn't just begin and end there.
Right.
Like, it seems like whatever they did out there was, like, even worse than them eating each other.
Yeah.
So I am curious about that, if they, like, expand on that in season 2. Or I guess it could be, like, it was more than they were just eating each other. They were, like, actively hunting each other.
Right. Yeah, that definitely could be the case.
Which, I mean, you said, like, we weren't even at that point of, like, the first scene of the show in season 2. Like, we didn't even get to that point yet. But, like, presumably based on what we saw of, like, the first scene of the show, it was more than they were just eating the dead. They were full on. Oh shit! I just realized they're probably gonna eat Jackie's body.
Yeah, they could.
Because, I mean, he's dead, and they don't have any food, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think Misty had any intention of working with the reporter. And I do like what happens here, where she lets the reporter go, but Misty threw away her cigarettes, and then Misty's like, "Okay, fine, I'll fish it out of the garbage for you." And Misty put something in the cigarettes, and we get a little flashback of Misty saying, like, the medicine she put in there, like, people would just think, you overdosed, and that's the end of it. They wouldn't really look into it. The reporter kind of realized what Misty did, because when she's driving away, she's, like, getting out of it, and she eventually just, like, goes off the road. Mm-hmm. And she realizes what Misty did. She poisoned her, and she's like, her last words are, "That fucking bitch," and then she just dies.
Yeah, I liked it too that Misty made it look like, because she's
just, like, overdosed in her car and crashed.
Not even just that, but, like, when she's, like, she could have left without the cigarettes too, but, like, she chose to do the habit. Like if she had just never even asked for the cigarettes, like, the reporter probably would have been.
Yeah,
fine.
But it's like, I think Misty kind of, like, knew she would ask for the butts.
Yeah.
So and Misty set it up like, "Oh, I'm looking out for you to, like, I want you to break your bad habit," and, like, no, she fucking swiped the cigarettes and made it look like she threw it away to so she could, like, poison them.
Yeah, I like to think that she poisoned them, like, the second she, like, kidnapped her type of thing, like, just in case.
Oh, probably.
That's
Yeah.
Misty. No Coach Ben, by the way. You didn't get. I know you've been like making that prediction jokingly, but you didn't get no Coach Ben in the basement. You know.
Yeah, I didn't think it would actually be down there, but yeah. Well, while you're away, I even joked about that. I'm like, oh yeah, Coach Ben wasn't down there, and my prediction that Porter was going to die at this episode was right, because I was like, there's no way going into season 2, this fucking poor lady is still in Misty's basement.
I will say this. I forgot about that stuff that like you know, because you know I went a little bit like you did without watching the show type of thing. So like I forgot about this. So I knew Misty poisoned them, but I forgot like it was to that extremes type of thing. So like I thought it was just unclear whether or not she like comes back.
Yeah, where like Misty had brought it up previously about like the specific kind. Yeah.
So I forgot.
And yeah, sure enough. I mean, sure enough, the reporter is dead. I guess the only complaint is like it didn't really go anywhere. You know, like the first episode, it started off with the reporter going around checking on everyone, and then we found out she was working with Thaisa. And now she's dead. I guess my it didn't really go anywhere. I guess she was kind of just like she existed to be a red herring.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I mean, there couldn't really be anywhere to go with it because Thaisa, as we find out, won the election, and Thaisa only hired her to like see if anyone was gonna like spill like during the election. So,
Right.
And again, there was no way Misty was gonna fucking let her go. So.
Yeah, I think that's like you said. I think the only reason she was there was like for a red herring type of thing.
Yeah, and then to like, well, I mean, we already knew Misty's a fucking psycho, so it doesn't really say anything about that. Well, yeah. So Thaisa's plot line for this episode is because again, it's pretty separate from everything. Okay, well, I guess. Yeah, so I'll just bring up the body scene, I guess, because everyone's, like I said, everyone's plot lines are like together at the beginning, so we can't really go any further. Natalie brings Misty to Adam's apartment, and she's being very cheery about it, like, oh, so who's this handsome guy?
And she treats this like like it's like she's done this before, and like it's like a regular job type of thing. Like she does this every day.
Yeah, I know, right? And I like how everyone's kind of just like, all right, that's Misty for you. Like, everyone, like, isn't surprised that Misty, like, knows all this shit.
It's kind of interesting, though, because Misty's character, like, Misty's actress was kind of the comedic relief here, where you would think Shauna's, which would make sense Shauna's isn't, because obviously she just dealt with a very serious thing, but, if you watch, like, 2.5 Men and things like that, typically, Shauna's character kind of is like the comic relief, because she's done 2.5 Men and everything like that. So
we bring up Rose a lot. I feel like I'm sure she's done like other roles besides Rose. It's just that's like the thing we know her as.
Which is weird because like when I was watching those interviews I sent you, I guess Rose isn't really that big of a role that she like had. Like that's not even the biggest one. But I think I just
I'm just saying we always bring up how like it's weird Shauna's actress is like so serious when Rose is like so comedic, but like again it's like I'm sure she's done like other serious roles.
I think also too I watch a lot of 2.5 Men like shorts on like Facebook and stuff, so she pops up a lot.
Yeah,
so.
True. Well, again, it's like going to Breaking Bad and being like, oh, I can't take Walt seriously because he's fucking Hal and Malcolm in the Middle.
You know what? Also, what doesn't help?
Well, I feel like that one's more accurate because he was mainly a comedic actor. That was like his really only like big serious role.
Yeah, but also, what also doesn't help is like, Shauna's character is playing like someone like dealing with a plane crash and like how she's dealt with it, and then like Rose's character in 2.5 Men is meant to be like crazy and everything like that. So that's kind of
true. So yeah, I guess the relation is that they're both like very both like mental health characters.
That's why I like to make the joke that like she became Rose for a few years because that kind of adds up type of thing. So
yeah, nah, fucking Misty had the reporter in her basement, but Shauna has Charlie Sheen in her basement.
In the well too.
Huh?
In the well, they
Oh yeah, in the well, yeah. So, Misty, was the perfect person to do this because she knows. Listen, I studied forensics in school, and she told me some stuff I wasn't even aware of. That they can't really ID Ben even if they find his like cut up body parts.
Wait,
if
Adam.
like the hands
Adam.
and head are missing.
Said Ben.
Oh, sorry, Adam. Yeah, Adam. Because they're gonna bury Adam's like cut up body parts in like a park nearby. But like, even if somebody eventually finds, because Tyson brings up like, well, what if somebody's dog fucking digs it up, or whatever. And they're like, well, it won't matter because the only way they can like ID him is like if with the hands and head.
Mm-hmm.
And when Misty was going into work, she found out like one of the residents had like died, and Misty was like, oh, I was like a daughter to her, and like went to the funeral, and she hid Adam's like head and hands in the person's like casket, and they were getting cremated. So obviously Adam's head and hands got burnt up, so they'll never like know.
I did like the scene with like Misty like talking to like the person's like daughter, and like saying all the things you wouldn't want to hear somebody say like at like your mom's like service type of thing.
Yeah. Like, I mean, fucking my mom's funeral was this year. Imagine if like somebody I didn't even know came up to me and is like, oh, she was like a mother to me. I would have been like, okay.
Didn't we find everything she like said too? Like, didn't Missy end up like talking about like the wand person or something like that? Like, I think that was pretty funny. Like, the person like called her out on it. Like, it wasn't even like the same person. I remember it was something like funny like that type of thing. So
yeah, something like that.
By the way,
and then I like how Misty's like, so Misty and Natalie are tasked with cutting up Adam's body and in the bathtub.
Mm-hmm.
And Tyson and Misty are like cleaning up like the rest of the apartment. I'm pretty sure was their job. Oh yeah, and Misty was gonna take some of his clothes and like with her.
Yeah.
And like so if anyone comes by, it'll look like he like went on a trip.
I guess that didn't work.
Yeah, true. Because they find out on the news later Adam's gone missing like that night.
Yeah. So
I guess, literally like that night they're like fucking Adam has gone missing, and I guess Misty didn't do a good job making it look like he went on a trip.
Right. Maybe Misty's never been on.
And I do like that Misty asked like, "Hey, were there any like security cameras like nearby that could have seen you like walking in here?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you kind of point that out, like, yeah, because I remember at the end of the episode, like, we out, but, like, I don't think it was that night. I think it was, like, the next day or something. But, like, it clearly...
Well, like, point is, like, immediately.
Yeah, so, but, like, when you said that, when I said it didn't work, like, because that's why I was like, yeah, I guess that didn't, because it didn't work, so...
Like, I forgot. I was like, what? I'm like, oh, yeah, shit, you're right, yeah, because he's on the news, like, instantly.
Like, I want to point this out, like, the election and stuff is going on, but they made sure in the news to like put that in there. So obviously, like,
it's also weird too because like I feel like you wouldn't have someone go missing, like report it on the news like that soon because like he only got killed like the day before.
Yeah, because it was
like Owen. This would be like if you just like went over to your buddy's house for like a day and then you turn on the news and it's like local man Owen Finch has gone missing. And you're like, what the fuck? I was only gone like a day.
I know. So, like, I guess, I don't know what happened. Like, does he talk to someone, like, every day? Like, like...
Yeah, I know, right? So, like, fucking Adam had, like... He still talks to that girlfriend who went to that college. And she's like, Adam always calls me at 2 p.m. exactly. Something's wrong.
Right. But, yeah, like...
Yeah, so, we don't... There's not... The Tyson Misty scene isn't super important. They just kind of just talk about the election. It is kind of nice though because we haven't really seen Misty talk with Taissa like past or present.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that was nice. They just talk about how Taissa was probably going to lose the election and then she didn't. So cool. And then Shauna and Natalie are tasked with cutting up Adam, and that's cool because they haven't really, Natalie was kind of with Misty a lot this season, and Shauna was with Taissa.
Yeah.
The one time Natalie was with Shauna, Taissa was kind of there too. So this was like a nice little one-on-one.
I think this was nice, obviously, too, because, in Natalie's mind, She thinks he killed Travis.
She thinks this guy killed Travis, yeah.
And Shauna knows that's not the case, so you were wondering if that was going to come up and stuff like that. So, like, I thought that was cool.
Yeah. I'm still kind of, it's still, I know you said, like, Shauna's probably just gone through a traumatic thing, but she is, like, very calm during all this. Like, I know she probably wasn't in love with Adam, but, it just sounds like she doesn't give a fuck about him.
I like to think, too, she's just so, like...
It's crazy, too, because now she knows he wasn't the blackmailer.
I like to think, too, like, she's so, like, doesn't want to deal with this type of thing, just wants to have this, like, over with, and she's, like, just so distraught and, like, just done with it type of thing, where, like, you know... If you notice, too, that's, like, in this show, that's the second time, like, Shauna, like, took action and stood up for herself when she thought... And then it ended up biting her in the ass again, type. Like, she kind of went through...
Yeah. So the point is, Shauna, you should just never stand up for yourself because people die whenever you do that.
If you ever notice too, like that can make more sense. Like when she actually killed Adam, like in episode 8 or episode 9, I forget what episode. We saw young Shauna because, like, you know, type of thing. So
yeah, yeah, and you know, because like Shauna, the only time she actually seemed upset when she was like describing this to Natalie and Taissa last episode was like when they were asking a lot of questions about like how Adam could be the blackmailer. Then she like pretended to like cry and turn away and be like, "Look, I trusted him, and you know, like he betrayed me."
Mm-hmm.
So like the only time Shauna even seemed like sad that Adam is dead, it was like to manipulate Taissa and Natalie to stop asking questions.
Yeah.
You know, because like Natalie is like, "So do you like still know how to like do this?" You know, because obviously her job in the past was like cutting up the meat.
And as we see, she does.
Shauna is like, it's like riding a bike. You know, it's a really gross bike.
Right.
And then she just starts like cutting up his arm, like super casually.
Mm.
And good thing they didn't pull a Jesse and like dissolve him in the bathtub. You know.
I was kind of worried actually they were gonna like rip off Breaking Bad there, which I'm happy they didn't do.
Because this whole scene reminded me of Breaking Bad, but like. You know, before, you know, in Breaking Bad, it was Jesse's house. So when it went through, it was still in Jesse's house. They're in an apartment building. So imagine the people downstairs are just going about their day and then fucking dissolved Adam. Fucking. Well, it's funny. We always joke about Adam. Comes in at the worst time. Fucking the people downstairs are like going through. They're having like their own like little plot line. They're like dealing with like something dramatic, and then fucking Adam's corpse comes in like, "Hey guys, is this a bad time?" Like, damn it, fucking pieces of Adam, not now.
Yep.
I just thought of that now. That's so fucking funny.
That's awesome.
Adam, one last time coming in at the worst possible moment.
Yep.
You know, he would have wanted it this way. It's what Adam would have wanted.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's funny because they make that joke later when Jack at the dance where like Jackie would have wanted Shauna to dance with Jeff.
Yeah.
Fucking Adam would have wanted to burst in at the worst possible moment as a fucking goop.
I do like, by the way, even in death, Adam's bursting at the worst possible time because it's right when like Callie and like Jeff and like Shauna are about to have like a nice family time. It's like the first time.
You're right. On the news, they're all having a nice fucking family sit down, and then Adam comes in on the news.
I want to point this out too, by the way. Like, Shauna, Callie, and Jeff haven't done like a nice family thing like at all this season, like at all in this show. The one time they're about to, Adam like ruins it. Like
the way Callie was like surprised, Jeff and Shauna were like having like a sit down together. Makes it seem like they haven't like done this in like years.
Yeah. So like the one time they're about to have like a nice sit down is when like Adam's on the freaking news. That's so Adam. That's so Adam.
Listen, the look on Shauna's face, you get when she's in the kitchen, you can tell she's like, "Damn it, Adam, not now." But Taissa too. Taissa's got this big election thing going on like tonight, and she's fucking here dealing with this.
I guess Taissa didn't see it then, like that this was on the news.
Probably not. She's probably focusing on the election. Yeah.
But did she miss it? Like she was watching it the whole time.
And they all have the school reunion that night too. So Adam is inconveniencing all of them.
And Jeff and Shauna had to talk about like Adam doing the slow dance like on like the thin type of thing. That's awesome.
Yeah, I know, right?
Adam's just gonna be in this shit. Honestly, this plot's never gonna end. Adam's just gonna be. I'm gonna remember Adam for the rest of my life. I think he's awesome.
Well, the way he's on the news, I'm presuming like they're gonna still bring him up next season. I'm just waiting for it. At the worst possible moment, someone's gonna bring up Adam.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So Adam, may he rest. Adam is eternal. He died as he lived, interrupting people at the worst possible moment.
I was gonna wait to bring this up, by the way, until like we finish this like section. You realize Adam's whole story here. He came in at the worst possible. Like, remember I said this, like...
Because you're right. Because the whole thing, we're like, oh, if Adam was a blackmailer, it would make sense why he, like, had that fender bender with Shauna and why he was at that hotel.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I remember when you brought that up, I was like, it's really weird that he's, like, here. Like, what are the odds? And they were like, oh, yeah, well, don't worry. There's a reason why he's at that hotel. He's dead now. So, like, do we actually get a reason why he was at that hotel?
I was just saying that to throw you off.
Damn it. So he actually was there for no fucking reason?
I think he was, yeah. Well, it's Adam. There is a reason.
What the fuck? Huh?
It's Adam. That's the reason. Like, that's the reason. It's Adam.
Yeah, I know, right? That's just fucking stupid. But, like, legitimately, he was like, oh, I was just nearby and I fucking came here. It's like, what the fuck? What are the odds?
Yeah, like...
I don't know. You might be bullshitting me and there actually is the reason why he was there. But, like, if next season there actually isn't a reason, he just happened to be there, that's so fucking funny.
Yeah. I'm just showing you, his whole plot was him being in the... Like, honestly, if him and Shauna, like, had that fender bender, like, accident, like, a month before, like, years before this blackmailing thing happened, they would have been fine.
Yeah, true. Because she only ended up hooking up with him because of the Jeff thing, and before or after the blackmailing thing would have been over. Yeah, you're right. So he wouldn't have been meeting with the Sharkloin people. Yeah, you're right. So fucking Adam got himself killed because he fucking had the worst possible moment.
Funny thing
entered Shauna's life.
Funny thing is, by the way, maybe. Would Shauna have even found out that Jeff was ever the blackmailer, actually? Because that's the whole reason she thinks she, like, has to ask him about it type of thing.
Yeah, so she probably would never found out it was Jeff, yeah.
So they just so...
Well, I mean, I don't know. Well, because, Jeff getting glitter on him and, like, getting glitter in the closet.
Yeah.
That would have, none of that really had anything to do with Adam. So that might have still happened. So, Shauna might have found out he's the blackmailer, but, like, they wouldn't have had to cover up Adam's murder.
Yeah,
obviously.
but, like, maybe Jeff would have been able to clean up the glitter, like, quicker. Because, like, the whole reason Shauna finds it is she's going to...
True.
So, it all goes back to Adam, man. It all goes back to Adam.
True. Right, yeah, that is funny. Fucking Adam is the source of all evil. Fucking that spirit that's out there, Adam.
If that's Adam, that'd be awesome, honestly. I would love...
Okay, Adam's probably the one who crashed the damn plane.
Yeah, he's not even... Well, he's not even, like... Funny thing is, by the way, we talk... Shauna mentions Adam's younger. Adam could very well be older. He's just lying about his freaking age, by the way. That's...
Yeah, I know, right?
By the way,
yeah.
I feel bad for this actor, by the way, because now every time I see him, I'm going to think of Adam. Like...
I know, right? You're like, he's in a completely different show, and you're like, oh, look who's here, showing up the worst moment.
That should be every role he has from now on.
Yeah. So, getting back on topic, Natalie and Shauna are cutting up Adam, and again, it's kind of crazy how, like, indifferent Shauna seems. Like, they're having a pretty casual conversation.
Yeah.
Well, if anything, he's the one getting more upset than Shauna, because, obviously she's, like, still heartbroken about Travis. And she's trying to, like, press Shauna, like, look, did he mention anything? Or, like, like, give any, like, get any clues that, like, of, like, him murdering Travis. And Shauna is like, I don't know, like, he just, like, he might not have been linked to Travis dying at all. Maybe Travis did kill himself, and you're just looking for answers that aren't there. But, like, basically saying, like, Natalie is, like, looking for any excuse aside from, like, the fact that he could just... Travis could have just killed himself.
Which is fucked up, because, like, Shauna almost caused Natalie to kill herself by that quote, pretty much.
Yeah, true. If that cult didn't bust in, Natalie would have fucking died.
Yeah.
So that would have been Shauna. You would have been 3 for 3.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know what happens in the past more. She could fucking be like 5-0.
And what sucks about this too is
people.
like Shauna's just saying that too to like, cover up Jeff's story too.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. Yeah, that she legitimately doesn't know. Like, I mean, she probably does believe that Travis killed himself.
Yeah.
But like she doesn't. All she has is like maybes and guesses, and she's basically just telling. Yeah, she's basically just telling Natalie this to like get her like to stop her from questioning like Adam and Jeff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I brought this up before that like when Tice was like legitimately worried that like Natalie was gonna like end up dead now that Travis is gone, and Shauna was just kind of like, oh well, if she dies, she dies. And yeah, sure enough, Natalie was gonna fucking kill herself because of what Shauna said here.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and it's kind of fucked up. Like, imagine like Natalie does end up shooting herself, like, and then Shauna finds out. Would Shauna just be like, oh well?
Right. Yeah.
Like, I legitimately think if Natalie succeeded in killing herself, Shauna wouldn't even care.
I don't even think Shauna would blame herself for it either, type of thing, because it would be entirely her fault, pretty much.
Yeah, because like what she says, I'm gonna quote her exactly, or like quote her pretty much. She's gonna be like, "What happened out there? Like, for me, it seems like the world like lost its color sometimes, and like maybe Travis just couldn't deal with that anymore." Like, she's basically like putting her like how she is onto Travis,
And I think what's shitty about it, like I said, is she's only doing this to cover Jeff's story, so she's not, so
right. Again, she probably does. Well, the thing is, she probably like doesn't, like I said, she probably believes Travis killed himself, but not even because of like, like not for like because it's for like selfish reasons. Again, she's like putting her own experiences onto Travis.
Yeah.
And like you said, she's kind of just doing it to like shut Natalie up.
Mm-hmm. It's just fucked.
Yeah, really fucked. And like again, I hope this is like brought up later because Sean is my least favorite because like she's so shitty and like it feels like there's not really any consequence for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope. I mean, like obviously Jackie dying is like I guess supposed to be like a consequence of Shauna's actions. But like I'm saying, I hopefully Natalie, like if we find, we're gonna find out more about Travis, and like if it's revealed that like Shauna covered up for Jeff, like I hope there's a confrontation between Shauna and Natalie.
Yeah, especially because like I hope Natalie brings up like I almost just killed myself because of what you said, type of thing. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's like the main thing going on with as they're like dismembering Adam. So they put him in a nice little trash bag, and they're gonna bury him in a park, and the head and hands, as I said, they get cremated. So then the only way, well, it's funny. Earlier, Misty said Natalie, like the only way she was gonna help is if Natalie was gonna go somewhere, and I thought like Misty was gonna convince her to go to rehab. But no, it was to get Natalie to go to the high school like reunion.
Yeah. I don't know why the Missy cared about that.
I don't either.
Like,
because yeah, it does feel weird. It just feels like because the reunion was really more for Shauna's plot. I'm kind of surprised Taissa even showed up.
And like again, there was no reason for this reunion was kind of weird because they didn't mention it like at all until episode 8. So like it just kind of like was randomly mentioned.
Yeah. Oh, and again, it's weird because again, like that was only Shauna's plot. Like no one else brought up the reunion.
Yeah. And like all the stuff that like happens at the reunion.
Well, I guess because they mentioned that like it's like like around like big reunions, like reporters and stuff will like show up to like talk about the Yellowjackets.
Right, but like
Well, even then, the reunion wasn't brought up. Like, the anniversary wasn't brought up as, like, a reason why that reporter was coming around. The reporter was coming around because Taissa was, like, in the spotlight.
Yes. I also
So,
just,
yeah, this reunion was, like, really tacked on.
It felt like, too, they wanted to do, like, a big scene, like, with all of them, like, together, too. So.
Yeah. And, yeah, as I said, this was, like, the first episode where, present day, all four of them are together. And a little underwhelming.
Yes, I agree. I thought, like...
like, you mentioned that, like, you know, for, like, the last episode, it makes sense they would want to have, you know, like save all four of them being together for the first time, like, for, like, the last episode. But, didn't really justify it, in my opinion.
Yeah, they don't do any... I thought they did more things interesting, but they don't really do anything, like, interesting together, either. Like...
Even at the dance, they were kind of just, like, sitting at a table together. They weren't really, like, having any meaningful, like, thing together.
And it was only Shauna's stuff, like you said, that they were really doing. Like, they didn't do anything, like, together, so...
Yeah, like, Natalie runs into Kevin, but, like, again, that's separated from everyone else.
Yeah. Like, it would have been cool, like, if all the plots, like, meshed there or something. Like...
Yeah, if they read it in a way where, like... Or, Yeah. So, like, you know, Taissa was there, and, you know, the election was going on at that time. So, like, that would have been interesting if there was something going on with that election at the reunion.
Yeah, they didn't really,
Or, you know, the reporter ends up... Or maybe the reporter ends up dying later. It would have been interesting if, like, you know, there was some kind of confrontation between Misty and Taissa on the reporter.
Yeah, this reunion, was kind of disappointed in hindsight, because we talked about... There's all these things... that they could have done at the reunion that should have happened, like, in this reunion.
It's not as disappointing as the wolf attack, but, like, it is, like, first time all season, all four of them are together, and, you know, I mean, the Adam scene is decent, you know, it's nice to see them all, like, banter, and again, Misty was kind of the comic relief.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reunion, you know, it felt like, you know, again, if it was, I get, like, wanting to have all four of them for, like, the season finale, but, I just would have preferred if all four of them kind of, like, got together sooner.
Yeah. I think, too, I also, because, again, in misremembrance, I forgot Misty wasn't there doing the hot, you know, when they were looking for the blackmailer, so I originally thought that was the first one. But, yeah, this is kind of a little bit of an underwhelming, them all being together, so...
So Natalie, obviously, is kind of, like, captured at the end of this season. So, but I'm hoping... whatever happens with that, like, they get reunited again soon. Like, I hope next season doesn't have all of them separated again until, like, the end.
I think what sucks about, like, this, all of them coming together, it just kind of felt like they just did it, because it was the last episode.
Because
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It feels like they just had them all together because it's episode 10.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like the only reason they brought up this reunion plot was so they could all be together.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, the reunion just feels tacked on. Yeah. So they all go to this reunion. I like the little scene with Taissa and Natalie, where, like, they say, like, somehow this is, like, the most scared they've been all day.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, because Taissa has that election going on, and Shauna just fucking murdered someone. But yeah, somehow this is, like, the most nervous they've been. And I think it's because they have just spent the last 25 years not wanting to, like, confront the past at all. But they kind of know, like, okay, the Yellowjackets is going to get brought up a lot tonight, and we can't really avoid it.
Right.
And I think a big reason why they end up going to the reunion is because it's, like, an alibi for, like, okay, if anyone asks what happened with Adam, they were all at the reunion.
Yeah. Although it's kind of weird because originally I think Shauna was gonna go because Jeff mentions it, but, like, yeah, I guess that alibi was like, yeah, they're all at the reunion, so that's fine.
Yeah. Well, I guess that would be like, you know, they had plans to go to the reunion, so, like, if all of a sudden they didn't go around the time Adam gets murdered, that would be suspicious.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you know, going there and acting like everything is normal, I guess that's, like, what they kind of had to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Allie's back, and it's funny. In episode 1, I questioned. I was like, did the girl get her fucking shin splint, you know, like, out of her skin? was she on the plane? And then that next episode, they brought up like, oh, Allie ended up being the lucky one, not being here.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting injured right before they left. And yeah, sure. Now we see Allie present day. She's an adult, and she's become like the kind of person who just like is constantly bringing up the Yellowjackets, like kind of like stolen valor, essentially. Where she's always like she's trying to like gather like sympathy or like interest that she was supposed to be on the plane crash with them.
Yeah, I liked this. I did look up the young actress too. You know, it's been a while. I like.
Yeah.
It looked roughly like how she looked. Like that, I could believe that. Got older, she would look like
yeah,
that.
I can buy that this was like her as an adult. Yeah. That is something I praise the show for, is like all the young actresses and seeing the present day. I'm like, yeah, I can buy that's how they look.
Well, except Travis, not him.
Well, I mean, I guess I don't really know what we haven't really gotten a good look at like present day Travis.
Wait till season 2 because there's gonna be some flashbacks. So,
Okay.
yeah. But one missed opportunity. No interaction in the present between Thaisa and Allie. That was a missed opportunity. Like they should have done something.
Yeah, since obviously Thaisa like injured her and was the reason she didn't end up on the plane. Also, wait, I just realized. So I thought it was really weird how like everyone is like ignoring like the giant like scars on Travis's chest.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess that was because of the autopsy.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I've been to an autopsy and that, like, Y-shaped scar is when they, like, cut you open.
Okay.
So I guess, but other than that, he looked really beat up. So, I don't know, maybe any scars on him were a result of what happened in the woods.
I guess so, yeah.
I guess so maybe that's why no one questioned, like, it was a suicide. But I don't know, I could have sworn Travis's, like, face was all, like, fucked up, too.
Yeah, me too.
So maybe he, like, I don't know, maybe he got injured in the woods besides what we just saw.
Right.
But anyway, sorry, that popped into my head. Natalie, at some point during the reunion, ends up like going into the hallway and like seeing a little memorial case of the Yellowjackets. You know, the whole team roster, and it was just interesting because this is like I think this is the closest to a head count we get. That I think I counted there was like 15 girls on that picture.
Mm-hmm.
So there were, I guess, 15 of the Yellowjackets in the plane crash. Obviously, Allie wasn't there. I don't think Misty would be in that picture because Misty wasn't on the team. She was like the water girl.
Right.
I didn't look to see if she was on the picture though. So Allie discounted, and I think they said one of the girls died, but she was just like an exchange student or something. They didn't really know her that well.
Right. Yeah. So
there would have been like 13 of them in the woods again, and that's not including like Travis, Javi, and Ben.
Yeah, I guess maybe some of them died during the actual crash, so that's why we didn't see some of them.
Well, no, as far as we know, like, you know, the only people who died in the crash was like one student, and like the rest were like the stewardess and like the captain.
Yeah.
So yeah, as I said, this is like the closest to a head count we get. But so yeah, there definitely should be some like extra people, like extra Yellowjackets in the woods that we like. Just, you know, it's weird that they're never like really seen.
I guess they just pull a Javi and just go like into town and just chill with him. I guess so.
Yeah. Sorry. So we got Shauna, Thaisa, Misty,
Van.
Nat, Van, and then like the two background people. So that's 7.
Yeah.
Again, that's even if we're including Misty in that picture. So that means and Jackie. So that means there should still, and I guess Allie. So there should still be 6 people that like are unaccounted for.
Mm-hmm.
5 or 6. And like we just never see them in the background. Because again, I included 2 extras who just started talking like 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, I don't understand why we haven't like seen them type of thing.
Yeah, they don't have to like talk or anything, but they just be in the background.
Especially too, because you know, then it kind of makes it less predictable and like, well, not really predictable, but like now we know, like, you know, will question more people's fates and everything like that type of thing. So
Yeah, exactly. But like every scene, we have like it's earlier in the season, we had a couple scenes where like we had a couple people we didn't know, but like the last half of the season, my God, it has only been like the named characters and scenes, like not even people in the background. Like it is just the main characters.
yeah, they should have done like this picture. Maybe they did it in the beginning of the show. We just didn't notice it in the beginning, but they should have done like this picture, like show. They showed like or show them all getting on the plane or something like in the beginning of the show.
Yeah, because again, it was jarring when those two girls like just started talking all of a sudden. I was like, oh my God, you have like I don't even know who the fuck you are.
And they talk like as if they've been like talking the whole time and like have a relationship with these people. So
Right, but again, like in all the previous scenes, like whenever there's like a plot meeting, they are nowhere to be found.
yeah. I hope this isn't an issue that happens later on type of thing where we'll see someone that's like like in season 2 that we haven't seen it at all, and they'll like try to make it seem like they've been there the whole time. Like I kind of hope it doesn't become an issue. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I mean it's already
like that's another name. Like who told Bro he's on the squad? Like you'll just have like or like Bro thinks he's on the team. You'll just have like one person who like is super out of place, amongst a bunch of other people, and it's like this Bro. Who does this guy think he is? He's not on the team.
I hate to be this guy, but another funny meme they should do is that funny meme where Jeff says there's no book club. Instead, they could be like there's just no. Imagine there was never a soccer team at the school, and Jeff was just like, "There's no soccer team," so they just crashed.
I know, right? Just a Yellowjacket. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, so again, I know we brought that issue up a few times, but like I feel like I had to bring it up here because like this is like the closest to a head count we get.
Yeah, I'll have to watch the scene back then and see like how many people were there.
Yeah, and obviously, obviously we got like the full team picture, and then off to the side we get Travis, Javi, and like their father. And again, I like that Travis is there because we know their father died in the plane crash, and obviously Travis didn't die till like he was an adult.
Yeah.
So that makes the fate of Javi ambiguous. Because like if it was just like Javi and his father pictured there, then we know Javi's dead.
Right.
But because Travis is there and it's like just a memorial for like everyone who's in the plane crash, it makes it like so we still don't know what's up with Javi.
Yeah. I do think it's kind of weird that like they didn't mention Travis at all, like doing the reunion, like that he just died and everything like that type of thing. So
yeah, I brought that off camera. I was like, he just died recently, so it is weird that he wasn't like brought up at like this because they had a whole slideshow of the Yellowjackets, and like so you think they would bring up like just recently one of the people in the plane crash passed away.
Yeah.
I get Travis was like living kind of off the grid, but still like I assume like his death wasn't like covered up or anything.
Yeah. Well, like clearly it wasn't because Kevin was able to like get his like autopsy and everything like that. So
yeah, exactly. So, like you figured that would have been brought up here. Yeah, and I do like that Natalie was kind of the one who like went off alone to like look at this case with Travis's picture.
Yeah.
And then Kevin showed up, and I do like what Kevin said, where he's like, I was trying to remember more about him because that makes sense. Where a big tragedy happens, but like you only kind of knew the guy in passing. I had a similar thing in high school where someone, unfortunately, in my graduating class, committed suicide our senior year, and I had another guy who killed his mom, and that was a big deal. He was like on the news; they had a whole documentary about him. And it's kind of one of those things where like I just kind of knew them in passing. They were kind of like friends of friends kind of thing. I didn't really know them that well.
Yeah, I've had a few, not situations like that, but like a few kids in my like school got like into like a car accident. That was a pretty big thing. And I only knew like them in passing.
Like a thing of like they're brought up so often, especially like I live in a very small town, so like they're brought up pretty often whenever I run into people I knew, and it's kind of just like I didn't know them that well. It is a very like unfortunate situation.
Yeah, definitely.
And I do like because he says it to Natalie, like, "Hey, like I know he's important to you, and like sorry, he must have been in. But like he, I like what Kevin says. Like I didn't know him very well. I don't remember him very well. But like he must have been like a good dude if like if you loved him this much.
Yeah.
And I like what Natalie says of like you two are a lot alike.
I like to think that they were, because I feel like I see similarities between like past Travis right now and like Kevin right now type of thing. Like they're both pretty similar.
Yeah, and I like Kevin's response of like, oh, what, that we both love the same girl.
Yeah.
And that makes me think, because I was kind of questioning like if Natalie even gave a shit about Kevin. Because like you could be argued when she said all that hurtful stuff to him, it was just kind of like the cover why she had the gun, and like she just got like defensive and ended up lashing out at him.
Yeah.
This makes me, especially when Kevin leaves, the face she makes, it does make me lean towards like she did like maybe not loved him, but she was like fond of him.
Yeah, definitely.
And she had no reason to say like you were a lot like Travis. Like I think that even gives weight to she did actually care about Kevin. That like she losing Travis, she saw a lot of Travis in Kevin, and that was why she was like fond of him.
Right. A big thing you missed is like she says here like that he killed himself. Like now Natalie's starting to believe that Travis has killed himself.
Yeah. And then I liked how Kevin like yeah, he did. Which is also sad, because obviously Kevin has no clue about all this extra bullshit. But from his point of view, it's just like Natalie kind of like couldn't accept it.
Yeah.
And now he's kind of like confirming, like, yeah, I'm sorry. Like, it's kind of cut and dry.
I do like that they had this scene, by the way, just because, they were on pretty harsh terms. So this showed that, like, Kevin, like, still likes Natalie and, like, doesn't, like, that last conversation didn't, like, change, like, his opinion of her and anything like that.
As we kind of see, like, I don't think he's really in love with her anymore. Or, like, he kind of recognizes, like, okay, like, we're not going to, like, work out.
Yeah.
But, like, he doesn't hold a grudge, basically. Like, he's fond of her. They're having this conversation. And then another woman called at Kevin to, like, hey, Kevin, what are you doing? I don't know if this was, like, Kevin's, like, ex-wife. Or, like, if he just, like, got a new girlfriend.
Right.
It'd be a little weird if he did have a new girlfriend, because presumably this is, like, pretty soon after, what happened with Natalie and Kevin.
Yeah.
And, like, if he did get a new girlfriend, like, it'd be a little, like they would have just met, like, recently. And he's like, hey, I know we've only been dating for, like, a couple days, but do you want to come to my high school reunion?
I like to think this is, like, his ex-wife or something like that, so...
Yeah, that they kind of, like, were able to patch things up. Or at the very least, like, they're on good enough terms that they'll, like, go to events like this.
Yeah.
And then he kind of looks at Natalie and he's like, good luck, like, I hope things work out with you. Like, I hope you find your peace. The way he says it, it makes it sound like he's, like, not planning on ever really seeing her again.
Yeah, so this is kind of like the end of, like, the on-screen time and that type of thing. Like,
yeah, like, I mean, I'm guessing Kevin doesn't show up anymore. If he does, I'll be surprised.
Right.
The way this kind of seems like, Kevin's kind of like the one who got away. Like, Natalie could have been happy with Kevin, but because, but she, like, fucked it up, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is sad.
Which I think would kind of hammer into, Natalie trying to kill herself.
Yeah. I do like, that Kevin gets, because I was feeling bad for Kevin, that, like, if this is his last scene, I kind of hope that this is, I like that it's, like, a peaceful scene for, like, Kevin in a way type of thing, so.
Yeah, and I'm glad, like you said, he wasn't, like, guilting Natalie. He's just kind of like, it is what it is. I got my life, you got yours, and, like, I hope you, like, find your peace.
Yeah.
And, it's sad, it's sad. He did legitimately care about Natalie and he wanted to help her. But, like, he can't, if she can't accept the help, there's not much he can do.
Yeah, that's really sad, yeah.
And yeah, again, I feel like from, Natalie was so focused on Travis that, yeah, she could have been happy with Kevin. But, she just, she kind of fucked it up.
Yeah, and I think that's fucked up about it is, like, they they knew each other when they were younger and everything like that. It seems like Kevin was because obviously we see Kevin was kind of in Natalie's position, like in high school, and it seems like Kevin, obviously it's different circumstances, but it seems like Kevin was able to get over whatever he was dealing with, but it doesn't seem like Natalie like can type of thing.
The plane crash kind of like prevented her from moving on and like doing something with her life. Yeah, it is sad. And in a weird way, I feel like if the plane crash didn't happen, Kevin would have ended up with Natalie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she never would have met. She never would have met Travis, probably.
Like her and Travis never would have like bonded or anything. Yeah.
They probably would have like met like maybe on the side because it was the coach's kid, so they probably would have had some, but they wouldn't have like bonded like you said.
Yeah, probably interacted. No, they probably wouldn't have like ended up as they did, or if they even if they ever dated, fucking it wouldn't have been like as like long term as it ended up being.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is very sad. Randy and is at the dance, and him and Jeff have a little conversation where Randy's like, "Dude, man, I don't know how to. I've had a normal conversation my whole life, but like I don't know how to do it, because obviously Randy is like worried about what happened with the blackmailing thing.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know what happened with that, but like he's like, shit, we committed a crime by like blackmailing him. I like how pretty much immediately like Shauna goes up to Randy, and she's like pissed, and Randy's like, he doesn't even try to hide it. He just like knows, like, fuck, like Jeff told you.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Shauna was fucking brutal. I mean, you can kind of tell Shauna's just kind of taking out her aggression on Randy. She even says like, I can't even really be mad at Jeff, so I'm taking it out on you.
Yeah.
And she threatens to murder Randy, and the thing is, I don't think she was joking.
Yeah, because Randy at first tries to play it off like she is, but then like he kind of looks at her and gets like the serious look and is like, "Yep, you're not joking."
Yeah. Well, I do like what Randy says is like, so I'm guessing you're mad.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically that like, yeah, she can't really be mad at Jeff. So she got, and also I think she's angry because of what happened with Adam. So it's like she's taking out her anger on both. On him.
Yeah, because I guess he could have just prevented it by telling her or something like that, or like being a better friend of Jeff and like.
He's like kind of the least to blame, but yeah, she's kind of just taking out her anger on him.
Yeah.
She threatens him like never say anything about it. To be fair, I kind of get why she has to threaten him because it's more than just the blackmailing. It's like if the blackmailing thing got out, it could tie it back to Adam being murdered.
Mm-hmm.
And then Misty and Tyson don't really have any big scenes at the dance. But yeah, they all kind of Allie.
I think that's kind of a missed opportunity too for Misty not to have a scene because they did like not a whole episode, but like one of the scenes that like and what a lot of the relationship that like the reporter and Misty built was because Misty was going to this reunion and Misty didn't even do anything at the reunion. Like
yeah, exactly. Then Allie sets up a little slideshow of a montage of the Yellowjackets, which I was like, okay, that's really fucked up. Like this is presumably the first time like the Yellowjackets, or like 4 of them, are like going to an event like this.
That is kind of a coincidence that she had this. Like, did she have this ready for like years, just hoping they would show up in one of them? Like, that's kind of a coincidence that this happened to be like ready. Like, did she have this like? Was this made for like a while?
Yeah, I guess she had it made. Well, she was making a big deal how it's like the 25th anniversary, because it's like 10 years, no one gives a shit. 15 years, everyone's busy with kids. But like 25 is like the perfect year. Which I mean, I think she was kind of bullshitting. Yeah. But like like if people are busy with kids at 15 or 20, they're probably gonna be busy at 25.
Right.
Yeah, we get a montage. We get a slideshow of like all the the Yellowjackets, and we get a couple of Jackie. And like you said, this was like matched up pretty well with what was going on in the past.
Mm-hmm. With like
again, we're just doing this, like all the past, all the present, because it'd be weird to like keep going back and forth. And especially it's an extra salt in the wound because I brought this up that if Jeff is prom king, Jackie was probably prom queen. And yeah, sure enough, Allie brings up, So prom king and queen are supposed to have like a dance, but because prom queen Jackie isn't here, her best friend Jackie would want Shauna to dance in her place. And yeah, obviously we know this is extra salt in the wound because their last conversation they ever had was like a big fight.
I think I forget exactly too. Like the fight was like happening while they were showing this scene too, which really added to it too.
Yeah,
like the actual.
And
fight.
obviously again because Jeff and Shauna were cheating with on Jackie, so that's like double.
What was good about this?
Jeff, when Ali said that, he got a kick in the left nut and a second kick to the right nut to even them out.
I did like too that like they played the same song that they would like sing in during like the Doom coming. So like, and that's after that song, that's kind of when everything like fell down pretty much.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. And when shit really hit the fan, yeah. I like how you say fell down because they got in a plane crash, like the plane fell.
Right.
Yeah. And that's kind of it for the dance. Like I said, kind of underwhelming. Kind of wish there was more to it.
I also felt like this.
I like the scene with Natalie.
Yeah.
But everything else was kind of. During the dance, Natalie kind of just whispers to Jeff, like, it is done. it's like when Jack called Walter and like it's done.
Mm-hmm. But not in a cool way, really. So.
Yeah, but not in a cool way.
I do gotta say, I felt like the stance too was kind of a lame excuse to have the past and the present like match up. Like I said, it matched up well. But
that's what I'm saying. The slideshow, yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like they needed the slideshow, but you could have just done this by having like maybe like them have like maybe not a documentary, but like have like Shauna like go through pictures of like Jackie, or like you didn't really need the dance to match these.
It's weird. Like we said, the show has been doing a lot of time skips between episodes, where like weeks will pass between episodes. I mean, present day it seems like it's had less time jumps, but like still it'll have time jumps. So much shit happens in these like fucking 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
The blackmailing, then she kills Adam, the election, fucking Misty and the reporter, Natalie and like Kevin and Travis, like all that shit. All this shit happens in like fucking like 3 days. The reunion dance. It is like insane.
It's insane. Like it's like that scene in Family Guy where Peter like asked Meg, like, "Hey, Meg, what'd you do this week?" It's like, "Oh, do you really want to, tying up?" Peter Griffin should just go up to the Yellowjackets cast and just be like, "Hey, what'd you do this week?" type of thing. Like,
yeah. Oh, fucking the week they have had. Sorry, 1 second.
No, it can't be 3 days though, because
well, like Adam died. They go to the reunion dance.
Oh, you mean that?
That
night. Yeah.
The election is like around this time, like the next day.
Yeah.
And then like they're sitting around and Adam is on the news like that the next day too. Misty lets a reporter go presumably like the next day. I mean the blackmailing thing couldn't have happened too long ago because the glitter was on the floor.
Yeah, that was like I think that was the night before. So
like all the when they chased the blackmailer, like all this shit had to happen in like 1 week.
Holy shit, yeah.
Not even a week. It feels like 4 or 5 days.
Shauna should just fucking like all these characters deserve a nice little vacation type of thing. Well, they probably don't deserve it, but but.
Well, it's funny because Shauna was gonna ditch the reunion to go on a vacation with Adam.
I think she should still go. Go on. They should all just go on a nice little trip, nice little vacation.
Yeah. Go back to the woods, for a nice little getaway.
Yeah.
Well, as we're gonna find out, the woods came to them, or at least Natalie. Yes, I already pointed out Misty. She killed the reporter after the dance. Thaisa, her election happened and she won. That's cool because they were kind of setting up that she was going to lose. Her and Simone are still kind of separated. Simone calls Thaisa and lets her know, "Hey, I'm coming back to the house."
And at this point, like,
to pick up.
At this point, they're not really like cool, but like, they're still having like a conversation like with each other type of thing. Like, So they're not on decent.
Yeah, well, I do like it when Simone calls Taisa, tells her like I'm like writing out my resignation speech, like because Taisa thinks she's gonna lose, and Simone like is like, hey, I'm sorry about that. So like even though she's mad at Taisa, she's like telling her like, hey, I'm not happy that you lost.
Yeah, because all this was for nothing.
Yeah, it was just weird because like last episode they had a scene where Taisa was meeting up with like one of her people working for her.
Yeah,
and like they were kind of saying that like Taisa was gonna lose, like all the people, like at that specific spot, like all the people were like weren't gonna vote for Taisa. And they said a few times like it looks like Taisa wasn't gonna win, and then Taisa won.
Right.
Well, yeah, it's kind of funny that like we're talking about this episode because of what happened last night.
I know, yeah.
We're doing this like a big election episode when we had a presidential election last night.
I watched this the same day too, actually, which is pretty funny.
That's funny.
Well,
I didn't even find out. I didn't even find out who won till this morning.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. Last night at like 7 p.m., I got like a YouTube recommendation for like the election, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I forgot to vote."
Oh, there you go.
So I mean, I don't really give a shit, but I was gonna vote, and then I kind of just forgot about it.
That happens sometimes. So
yeah, did you vote?
I forgot to.
Okay, so all right. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Fucking, that's how Taisa won. Everyone forgot to vote except for Taisa. Taisa voted for herself.
Well, she could have been sleepwalking, so that'd be funny. She's just sleepwalking.
It's funny. Futurama did a similar joke where they kept talking about how like voting doesn't matter because one person doesn't change the outcome.
Yeah.
And at the end of the episode, all the main characters forgot to vote, and like the vote was decided by like 5 people.
It's like that episode of Fairly Odd Parents where Timmy and like the popular kids were running for like class presidents, and like everyone in the school got like food poisoning, and Timmy was the only one that didn't because he didn't eat the food, and he voted for himself because like
on Jimmy Neutron, fucking sorry, I know we're getting off topic. Jimmy Neutron, that special where they all have to like the Earth is gonna get blown up unless they like win the game show.
Yeah.
And Bulby voted for himself, like because Bulby didn't realize like you don't want to win the vote.
Yeah.
So Bulby voted for himself and got himself kicked out.
Pretty much, yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah. Fucking Bulby, man.
And you find out
Phil Lamar voices him, and Phil Lamar does Samurai Jack, Green Lantern, Static Shock. He does a bunch of like really weird. Like deep voice characters.
Yeah, Bulby's not really, and Bulby's dumb-witted too and stuff, so that's pretty funny.
Yeah, well, in that episode they're doing the Shakespeare play.
Yeah.
When his voice gets really deep, that's the same voice actor. He just has a shit ton of range.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
I think I told you that. Where like where his voice gets all deep and he's like, "Life is but a walking shadow." That's still the same voice actor.
The quote that he says. Does he actually say that like somewhere else, and they put it like there, or was that like a completely new?
No,
thing?
I think they just had him because that's actually like a Shakespeare quote.
Okay.
That's like. Sorry, I know we're getting off topic. The election thing is funny. Like the reunion. Again, kind of weird how they kept setting up that Tice is gonna lose, and then she just won in the end.
Kind of made sense though, because like it'd be kind of weird if she lost, because we never saw the guy she was like running against like on screen like at all. Like I don't even think we see a picture of him or anything. So
yeah, but this is like, again, speaking of like the show doing a good job cutting back and forth, we get Taisa like winning, like watching with everyone, and like everyone's excited that she won, and this happens at the same time Simone, because as I said, Simone told Taisa, "I'm gonna run by the house, pick up a couple toys for Sammy." Simone goes out to the basement to find something, doesn't really matter, and she notices there's some like blood on like a little like hatch.
Mm-hmm.
And Simone opens it and there's like a little tunnel.
Yeah,
I assume this tunnel was like came with the house. I assume Tyson didn't like dig this.
I hope not.
But I guess Simone never noticed it, but like she noticed the blood on it, so she's like, what's back here? She goes back there and she walks in. It's kind of dark. she just notices like the wall, and she's like looking at the wall. Huh, that's weird. And then she turns back, and next to like the little hatch she came in is a desk with fucking a heart and their dog's head.
Yeah, poor dog.
Yeah, and like I kind of assumed Taissa killed the dog because the way Taissa was talking about how she let the dog out, I was like, "Who let the dogs out?" Fucking wasn't Taissa.
Yeah,
and the way Taissa was talking about how like she could hurt Simone when she's sleepwalking. Yeah, I kind of figured she killed the dog.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, Simone didn't, and now she knows. And that's not only did she kill the dog, she fucking beheaded it and hid it in a little shrine.
Yeah.
And she has like I noticed the heart and the dog head. She had other things on the desk. I couldn't really get a good view of like what else she had on there. Yeah, she has a little fucking shrine of like I don't even know.
I know, it's insane. But yeah, this did a really good job cutting back because obviously when it cuts back after we see this, Thais is happy she won the election, but like now we know Thais like has the shrine, so like it's kind of like an evil smile in a way type of thing. Like, do we actually want this person? Like, wanting like.
Well, we don't even know if because Taissa didn't know she was the lady in the tree, so like we don't even know if Taissa knows.
Yeah. So.
So Taissa, like, well, I'm interested. Yeah, I'm interested to know if Taissa even is aware she has this like little shrine.
Yeah. So.
And I really hope Simone actually does. I mean, okay, she's married to Taissa, and like she still probably loves her. So like, I don't think she'll go to the cops. But like, there's no if season 2, episode 1 doesn't have Simone being like Taissa, what the fuck? Then I'll be like, okay, you know, Simone should definitely do something about this.
Yeah, something type of thing. So. But yeah,
if she doesn't front on this, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I did like this though. It does kind of this would be so much better. Like, had the Taissa like plot been better throughout, you know, like it still doesn't make sense that she was that you know that she didn't know she was like the lady in the tree type of thing.
I feel like this should have been the reveal because they didn't really do anything with like this. You know, all we had was like Taissa, like tell Simone like get out, I could hurt you, and she like confronted Sean on it, but like that nothing really big came of it. Essentially, is what I'm saying. Yeah. So yeah, you could have had it that like Simone is still at home. You know, like she didn't have a fight with Taissa, and then she goes into the basement for whatever reason and finds the shrine.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, we kind of have to wonder and see, you know, we have to wait for season 1 and 2. Like, oh, shit, is Taissa, like, aware of this? Like, what?
Yeah, but, like, now you know that she is, so it's, like, not... It's pretty interesting, but not as interesting if they, like, waited, so... Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, when we found out the lady in the tree was Taissa, I was expecting, like, oh, shit, what's going to happen with this? And we didn't really get much of, like, a big thing happen after, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
I think the immediate episode was like the blackmailing thing. So like, you know, we had to like couldn't focus on the lady in the tree. But even right after that, we didn't really get much from that.
Because she goes to like Sean and talks about it. So
yeah, and then you know she kicks Simone out of her own house. But you know, we didn't really get much on the lady in the tree. So I'm disappointed because that was like the plotline I was the most interested in. So I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't really get like much of that. I'm kind of glad they're like. Okay, now, I don't even know. I already kind of figured she killed the dog, and now we just know that she kept the little shrine.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of just like, okay, I'm interested, but I'm not like that interested.
Especially to, we don't get much of Sammy now, really, since like we found out Thais is the lady in the tree. He's just kind of there now.
Yeah, true. We didn't. I figured Thais was gonna have a talk with Sammy.
Yeah. And
like apologize and be like, hey, listen, Sammy, I believe you now about the lady in the tree, and listen. That is not me. Like I love you. Like something. She has not spoken a fucking word to Sammy.
Yeah, we haven't heard Sammy talk like at all. Like since we found out Taissa was like the lady in the tree.
I'm glad she brought up to Shauna that she like feels guilty that like Sammy like saw like the evil her. But we haven't like that was kind of it, and it was just kind of like a one throwaway line.
Especially too when you want to like use like Sammy now. I know, like, they didn't really plan on, like, a pandemic or, like, a strike happening.
Yeah, but, you say me now, because, like, you know, you're going to have a big gap between season 1 and 2. and like Sammy's gonna age.
Yeah, and like if not much time is like passing,
Oh, especially now because this they filmed this in 2021.
yeah,
It's almost 2025, and they're just filming season 3 now. So Sammy's gonna be 4 years older.
I don't think they can use.
So
him.
they probably can't. They're probably not gonna be able to use him in season 3, or they're gonna have to recast him.
Yeah, I don't think you can. Sammy you can't really recast because of how. I actually thought the kid actor did pretty well, like being like Benison and stuff. Like you can't really I don't think you can really recast Sammy. Like I don't think unless you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they should have used Sammy. Like I know they didn't plan on like a pandemic and like a strike happening, but like they kind of dropped. They should have used Sammy as much as they got as much out of Sammy.
Even then, even though they didn't know that delays were gonna happen, it still takes a lot of time to like film a whole season. So like, there's gonna still be a gap between season 1 and 2.
Yeah, so they should have done something with
Sammy. Fucking milk the kid while you can. Yeah, so that's it for Tice's plot line.
Yeah.
I already brought up Misty's, and then oh yeah, so as I said, it's kind of fucked up that Jeff and Sean are having like a little movie night together, and they're like talking and having a good time. Callie comes in and is like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, we kind of talked about it, but we'll talk about it again. Yeah.
Yeah. They're having a good time. They tell Callie like, "Hey, don't worry about your homework. Like, come sit down with us." And Callie's like, weirded out. And this kind of adds to the reason why I think Shauna's like a shitty mom, where she like calls her daughter like an asshole and like doesn't really. She's just not a good mom to her.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, Callie's a little shit, but she's like 16, and like clearly like her parents having a shitty relationship has like affected her. So it's more so like looking back at like when Callie blackmails. When Shauna blackmails Callie. I can't really look at it as like, aha, gotcha, Mama Callie, because it's like, Shauna, you kind of just made your own bed, and now you're lying in it.
Especially too, I guess. Shauna probably treating Callie the way she did probably fucked up Callie like mentally for like a while. Like if your child thinks that you hate her, she's not really gonna do anything to like try to be good.
Let's not forget one of Shauna's first scenes is her fucking jerking off to Callie's boyfriend.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. That was like one of the first scenes we have of Shauna.
Yeah.
As her in her daughter's room, looking at a picture of her daughter's boyfriend and like jerking off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like, I guess it would be like if Shauna like called Callie an asshole, but like felt bad about it. But like she's just pretty like neutral on it. She's like, oh yeah, like when they're having dinner with Jackie's parents, and she's just like, yeah, I don't even like her daughter.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, like no remorse.
I think the writers are doing this too because they want us to think Callie's the kid from 1996. But like again, if you do the math, that's not the case.
Yeah.
But I think that big twist is gonna. I think they're trying to. I hope that's not the big twist that we find out Callie's not the kid. But like, that can't be a twist because if you do the math, it's not a twist. Like.
Yeah. And so again, because of what happened, so on the news, Adam is reported missing. Again, people must have fucking loved Adam because it is like the next day since he got murdered. And I feel like you wouldn't be on the news after being missing for one day. Again, Adam is always showing up the worst times. People are having awkward moments and they're like, wait a minute, Adam isn't here. That's weird.
Maybe that's why everyone called the call, because like Adam stopped showing up like the most opportune times. Like it's like
yeah, I know, right? And Shauna was in the kitchen making popcorn for everyone, and so we don't get to see her like a face right away, or like Callie didn't, but like Callie definitely has like a what face? Like that's Adam. Why is he missing?
Yeah. And
then she kind of gives her mom like a side eye, like confused. And I'm interested what's going through her head. Because obviously she's like confused, but like I wonder, I think she's looking to her mom, like, do you know about this? I don't think she like suspects that her mom killed Adam, but I think she's like wondering exactly, because I'm sure it's confusing because like her parents, from what it sounds like, haven't been close in a long time. Her parents are like really close all of a sudden and want like a good like family moment with her. Now she's seeing on the news.
Yeah.
That her mom's lover is fucking gone missing.
Yeah. So yeah, that is interesting. But yeah, I like that. We're gonna hear more about Adam the next season now, like, but then that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
And another reason why I feel bad for Callie, and like I'm hoping there's consequence with this. Like a big reason why I'm not liking Shauna is like so many of her shitty choices like aren't giving her like consequences. Like when Callie confronted her when she found Adam's ID, like Shauna like as I said, she got like pissy and she was like, Callie, I know this is like difficult for you to understand, but like he just likes me.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm hoping Callie like confronts Shauna, and Shauna can't like weasel her way out, you know?
Right, I agree with that. Yeah.
Because that's what I mean. Like a lot of these times, like when people confront Callie on being, not Callie, Shauna on being like shitty, Shauna kind of like weasels her way out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm hoping next season somebody is like, Shauna, you're a piece of shit, and she's like, yeah, I can't really fucking defend myself on this.
Present day Shauna or like past Shauna? Are you fine with either or? Probably has to be
both. Well, okay, at least past Shauna, like she got into the argument with Jackie, and then Jackie fucking died. You know?
Yeah.
And then now we're clearly seeing present day Shauna is like affected by that.
Yeah. I want to go back one more time about the Shauna, because there's one thing we talked about off camera I want to make sure we mention. The reason I think, because the actress mentioned this in an interview, I think you watched one of them. The reason I think, because we heard Jeff's perspective, like after the dinner, of like why they've been together for so long. But I think the main reason why Shauna and Jeff have been together for so long, from Shauna's perspective, is she, like the actress said, and I actually kind of agree with this. I think had Jackie not died, and maybe the plane crash didn't happen, but I think it's more particularly because Jackie died. I think Shauna and Jeff probably wouldn't have like been together as long as they have. I think in Shauna's mind, because Jackie died, mainly because she found out like her and Jeff were sleeping together, I don't think she wants like that relationship to be like nothing. She wants to find something meaningful in the relationship.
Right, because it's like if they break up, then essentially Jackie, in a weird way, died for nothing. Because she died being upset about Jackie and, Jeff and Shauna's relationship. So if that relationship that got Jackie like killed just kind of peters out, yeah, I get that. From Shauna's point of view, it'd be like Shauna died for a relationship that didn't end up being a big deal.
And since Jeff, Jeff obviously knows about that too, because we find out Jeff knows everything. So like clearly Jeff knows that, like, unless Shauna didn't put it in the journal, but I assume she did. Like I think Jeff probably knows that that's how Jackie died also. So maybe that's his perspective too.
So I think this is an interesting thing, because I keep bringing up that Shauna is like not reacting very strongly to anything. In a recent Kiss This video, I brought up how I was pissed off that Fate was a Fate poster was in it, because I fucking love Fate. There was a really interesting character in it who he was born a sociopath. Like he's always wanted to be a good person, but for like the only thing that has ever brought him joy in life was like seeing people suffering. Mm-hmm. And like he wants to be a good person, but like he just naturally has like serial killer tendencies. And he married a girl in it, and trying to like I'm gonna marry a nice girl, have a kid, I'm gonna live a normal life, I'm gonna be a good person. But his wife, like knowing that he's like so fucked up in the head, killed herself to like make him realize like, no, see, you do care about people, like you don't, like you're a good person. And but all that made him, but like her killing himself just made him happy, but like in a fucked up way. Like he's like, I don't want to be happy about this, but like seeing someone just like suffering has brought me joy. And for like a big part of like the prequel Fate Zero is him like denying that. Like he's like, my wife died to like make me live a normal life, and like I know I'm fucked up in the head, I know I'm not like a normal person, but like I want to just like deny that, I want to bury that shit, because in my mind then my wife died for nothing. Like even though in my mind like I didn't care for her, I want to care for her even though she's dead. Right. And that's kind of, so to make a similarity, Shauna is like fucking a sociopath who like doesn't give a shit that she just murdered her boyfriend, and is like, like I think So I'm saying, like, she had a really fucked up relationship with Jackie. Like, her best friend, like, the person she was closest to. They had a really fucked up relationship. So in her mind, and especially the way Jackie's parents were talking to her, I'm sure Shauna feels like Jackie should have lived and I should have died. So she doesn't want Jackie to die for nothing. Like, she, like, in her own mind, a way to, like, justify it is like, okay, if I keep being with Jeff, like, Jackie wouldn't have died for nothing.
Exactly.
So I'm sorry to go into this, like, whole tangent with, like, a show you haven't even seen, but, like, it's a big parallel that I've noticed.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, like, between the two, and I wanted to bring it up. Because it's something you don't get a lot of, I feel like, you know, of, like, this, like, people with just, like, fucked up natures. Like, a lot of it is, like, events in their life will, like, shape them to be the person they are. But I feel like Shauna, just deep down, is a fucked up person, like, naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And, because, you know, she fucking was, like, a shitty friend of Jackie, just, like, from the get-go. And she clearly had a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Like, even before the plane crash. And the plane crash kind of just, like, just cranked that shit up to 11.
I'll talk about this real quick. Walking Dead did a storyline like this where, like, one of the characters was, like, really messed up, like, cutting up, like, rabbits and, like, pinning them to, like, a board or, like...
Right, like, serial killer shit, yeah.
Yeah, and, like, they were trying to figure out, like, what to do about it. Like, one of the characters like, well, maybe we can, like, you know, like, try to talk her back, because they thought it was, like, the zombie apocalypse that made her that way. But one of the characters was like, no, this is how she was, like, it was already there type of thing. Like, and I think that's the thing with Shauna. Like, Shauna had these tendencies already, but the plane crash, I think, made them also worse, too.
Exactly. But again, I feel that's what I love, that she's, like, just naturally a fucked up person, and her experiences have, like, cranked it up.
Yeah.
But, like, she's trying really hard to deny it, because she doesn't want, like, the person who was closest to her, like, that death to mean nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So again, okay, we gotta get you to watch Fate, Owen, because it's a really fucking good show.
Maybe that's maybe we add it to the list next year, because we said we want to watch more anime. So it just sucks
true.
it sucks my first exposure of it's Kiss Sis though. So
but it's Kiss Sis. Yeah, you're gonna fucking, if we ever watch it and you end up really liking it, that's what you're gonna think of forever. Is fucking Kiss Sis.
Mm-hmm. And funny thing is,
sorry to go on that long tangent, but like I said, it was a nice parallel I wanted to bring up.
And funny thing is about that Kiss, about the Fate thing, it's all your fault that I'm gonna think of Kiss Sis forever, because you could have just never.
Exactly, it's my own fucking doing. I fucking made my bed, now I have to lie in it.
I'm gonna put it up like every time we like do a Kiss, like not a Kiss Sis review, Fate review.
A Fate, yeah, it's like, welcome guys to the best Kiss Sis crossover show ever, fucking Fate.
You're just gonna. I feel like you're gonna hate every video. Every time we do that intro, you're gonna be like, you know.
Next time I see you in person, I'm just gonna fucking slap you across the face.
No, like hi or handshakes too. Like that would be the first thing you do. Like when we see each other in person, or like, hey, what's going on? You're just gonna like
high five, but when I just fucking smack you in the head.
And we'll be around the family, and like they're not gonna get the context.
Everyone's gonna be so confused and be like, it's an inside joke. Don't worry about it. While you're like on the ground crying. So yeah, the last scene, to get serious again, is Natalie, and she is in her room looking it's fucked up that she has like pictures of Travis in front of him. So basically, like, she's gonna kill herself, and the last thing she's gonna see is Travis.
Mm-hmm. And again, this one,
which is sad, you know, because as Thaisa pointed out, with Travis dead, she has less than nothing now.
Yeah, and this was nice because like it tied really well with like Natalie and Travis's conversation they had, like, that I talked about over an hour ago.
Yeah, I know, right? Sorry, this review's going for a while. I think my section's only been like an hour, so actually that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Or like hour 20 minutes, which is about the same as yours. So Natalie's about to pull the trigger, and the actress did a great job. Like the facial expression she's making, like, you know, that she's like really hesitating to do it, but she's like gonna go through with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, I mean, these cold people must have been spying on Natalie because they have fucking amazing timing. Burst into the door and they like grab Natalie, and she's like, "Get the fuck off me!" And one of these people we see is wearing a necklace that is the same symbol that we saw on the tree and on the postcards. And it's funny, I forgot about the postcards until last episode, and I was like, "Wait a minute, So the blackmailing was Jeff. The reporter was Thaisa. But like the postcards, we haven't got anything on the postcards for like 8 episodes.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's like I forgot about it. And yeah, sure enough, the way they're focusing on the symbol, I'm thinking the postcards are like related to Travis's death. Because that banker lady called Natalie and left a voicemail because obviously Natalie can't really answer the phone, which is getting dragged away.
And also,
she's saying like
the bank Susan was like trying to call Natalie like a few times like throughout the episode. So like obviously it was like urgent.
Yeah. And she's stressing out. She's like, "What have you gotten me into?" And it's funny because that ties into the last thing she said was like, "I wish I never fucking met you." This Susan is now being followed because she has looked into Travis's bank account, and she asks, "Who the fuck is Lottie Matthews?" So this is our confirmation Lottie's alive in the current day. These cult people are presumably working with Lottie, and Lottie is probably like the person who emptied Travis's bank account.
Yeah.
And now she has captured Natalie and is presumably hunting Susan. It'd be funny if Susan is never mentioned again.
Right. I do have to ask too, like, how does Lottie, unless you have the passwords or something, but like I kind of hope they explain how Lottie emptied his bank account because Natalie couldn't even like get information on his bank account. So I hope they explain that.
I mean, presumably it seems like Lottie is like the leader of this like cult or like is a member. So if this cult is like powerful, they could probably, maybe like, they have connections. I don't know.
Yeah. That's
what I'm gonna say. When we saw that symbol on that tree, I assumed like back in episode like 2 or 3, I assumed that like there was like people out there in the woods with them, and there still could be. We don't know, but I assume like there's like already a cult out there, but we haven't seen any like people out there yet. So now I'm wondering, now that we're seeing like Lottie is like kind of heading these like cult people out in the woods, it's making me wonder like, so like maybe Lottie's the one who starts this cult, or maybe this cult was already existing and then Lottie kind of like ends up joining up with it,
and better yet, taking it over, like joins it then takes it over. That'd be cool.
So that is making me wonder if like, okay, is it just like a cult that Lottie started and once they got back to society Lottie just kept it going? Or was it already a thing and Lottie ended up, like you said, taking it over?
Yeah.
And, well, we know Misty kind of ended up working with Natalie. And when we saw in the past, Misty was, like, one of, like, she was with Lottie, like, praying to this, like, thing. So maybe Misty was, like, a fucking double agent. She was, like, letting Lottie know that Natalie and her were, like, looking into Travis.
Right.
Because again, I thought it was real suspicious that Misty was with Natalie when they were like looking into Travis's house, and then that day, Travis died.
And then she's been like watching Natalie like pretty much ever since, like with the camera, hidden camera. And then there's a line that's just like, you don't know the lengths that I have gone to like keep you alive. So like, was this like another like did Misty like call Lottie and be
she's
like,
kind of Lottie, yeah. To like, yeah. And again, I think it's interesting because the reporter said to Misty like, "Oh yeah, so what? You guys were eating each other, right?" And then Misty like didn't really answer. So if Misty has like connections to a fucking cult, that might explain why she's like, "Oh, eating people." That's like not even the worst of it.
I do have to ask though.
I mean, I could this could all be coming out of my ass when we get to season 2, and Misty and Lottie have no connection. Who knows?
Yeah. I do have to ask though if Lottie's been alive all this time. Like, why are we just... Obviously, I know why we're hearing about her now because they wanted it to be a twist, but like, it's kind of weird that like the characters haven't mentioned her. Like when the blackmailing thing with Travis was going on, they didn't like suspect it was
I don't
Lottie.
think it's that weird. I mean, again, like they haven't really mentioned each other that much. Like from what it sounds, like presumably like Tyson and Shauna seem to be the only ones who are in like regular contact, and then like Thaisa will get Natalie into rehab sometimes.
I say that though because like when Thaisa, Natalie, and Shauna like talked about like who the blackmailer could be, they mentioned like Misty.
Oh yeah, it is weird they don't bring up Lottie. Yeah,
like why would they not bring up Lottie if like she's been alive all this time? I'm fine with like the high school reunion, like her not being brought up like there, but like they should. It's kind of weird. Like there's been times where Lottie could have been like brought up, and then like just never was type of thing.
Although you brought up an interesting thing, they don't want really to deal with Misty, but like when Adam was dead and they needed to get rid of a body, they were willing to like tolerate dealing with Misty. And Misty's a psycho, and we see in the past like everyone hates Misty.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes you wonder, like, oh shit, if they don't want to deal with Misty, but if they're willing to put up with her, but like with Lottie, if they don't even want to fucking bring her up at all, oof, what is Lottie like present day?
Right. Yeah. Makes you excited too.
That's assuming if they know about all this cult shit, which they might not.
Right. And I do like this because Lottie hasn't really interacted with Natalie all that much, and now like in the present we're gonna see they're gonna have some type of like conversation and stuff like that. So
yeah.
But I like that again this matched up with the past because in the past they were setting up like the cult, and then here we see like Lottie has a full on like cult, so this tied in really well. So and yeah, that was everything in the present. Overall, I thought everything in the present was like thumbs in the middle, I guess. I thought it was like good, but I feel like there's, like you said, the reunion was a disappointment, and then like the Thaisa stuff, like the election was kind of weird, and like you said, like the fact that they've already like had Adam's like death, like the fact that Adam's gone missing on the news is a little sketchy. They should have, they should have like cut 2 days later or like just waited next season or something. They clearly wanted
because apparently Misty did a shitty job of making it look like he went on a trip.
Yeah. Because that literally when you said that, I was like, I guess that didn't work because like that night it's like reported, Yeah.
But overall, I give this episode like a B+, A-.
I'm gonna go A-. I really liked the stuff in the past with like Natalie and Trav. The past is really what carried the story.
I was really surprised they killed Jackie this season. I really thought they were gonna wait till next season.
Yeah, I like they did it this season though. I feel like it would have been kind of weird if they had this big fight and then like. And again too, like with where the show's going in the past, like really Jackie couldn't be there for it.
So. Well, it was just because like there wasn't really, like the wind, the snow came out of nowhere, like quite literally.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I wouldn't have even noticed if you didn't bring it up last episode that you said there was a little bit of snow on the ground.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I liked I like this episode a lot though. I'm gonna give it an A-.
Like I said, a lot of it was just like the aftermath of last episode, and I gave last episode like an A+. So not as interesting as last episode, but still like B+, leaning a little bit towards A-. Like I'm kind of torn.
I think this episode does a really good job of wrapping up some things and then like giving you reasons to want to like come back to like season 2, like with the Lottie thing and then the Thaisa thing, and I wouldn't really say yeah.
I'm glad we got a bit on Travis's murder because I was a little disappointed that we had like fucking 3 red herrings with Travis's murder.
Yeah. So, and I like that we know it's looking like he didn't kill himself because that would be a really disappointing like reveal. Like it looks like there's something more to it now. So.
Oh yeah, that would suck.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we said we would grade the season. I'll let you go first.
I give it a B+.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Hopefully, I didn't hear what you said. Hopefully, you said you'll let me go first. If you said I'll go first and I just talked over you, that would suck.
Oh yeah, no, I was gonna let you go first, but I was gonna ask you like more of a question, but then you just answered like I was gonna really cue you in for it, but yeah, I think I said I would give because I would give 2-letter grades, because I'm coming back, and then like I think we talked about this off camera when I watched this the first time. I watched it differently because I watch it more as a fan instead of a critic, and then I got to binge it. Like you had to wait sometimes a while to watch the episode. But I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go probably a B+ too. Now that we started talking about this episode some more, I think the past was better than the present. I think the present kind of brings down the show, like the Thaisa stuff.
I think Natalie's plotline was pretty solid all the way through.
Yeah. Natalie's plotline was great.
And I think, like you said to me before we even started the show, it's kind of like, is Shauna even the main character?
Right. I feel like Natalie kind of is. Like, she's like the heart and soul of the soul.
Yeah.
I think one thing we didn't really talk about much, too, I would talk about this, like, throughout the reviews. I feel like sometimes characters will only act a certain way, so that way you'll feel that way. Like, for example, like, there'd be episodes where you didn't really like Jackie much, but then, like, they made Jackie more likable when the plot needed it type of thing. So, like, I feel like, you know, they kind of...
Yeah.
Like, for example, like,
honestly, I like Jackie. The way you talked about her, I was expecting to fucking hate her, but, like, honestly, I liked her. She was pretty, like, reasonable. Like, again, she was just, like, a normal person in this fucked up situation.
Yeah. And then I like,
But, like, now that you said it, like, I am glad Jackie died here, because, like you said, it's kind of, like, symbolic. It's, like, the death of, like, their normal life.
Yeah. But overall, that's the end of,
Season 1.
Just quick, because we're going on, and it's late. Any predictions for season 2?
So I'm gonna guess Lottie and her cult were responsible for Travis's death, because it'd be insane if they do another red herring. I'm curious of why. Well, actually, this whatever this thing is, it seems like it wanted Travis dead. So, Lottie being like a worshiper of it, I think it would make sense. It's like targeting Travis.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, we'll find out more about like what this thing is. I'm guessing we'll get a bit of conflict between Callie and Shauna. It'd be nice if that happens, because Callie wasn't really in this season that much.
Mm-hmm.
So her being more of a character next season would be nice. What else? Thaisa, I'm guessing there's going to be a confrontation between her and Simone. Hopefully more of Sammy next season. In the past, like I said, I think we're going to eat Jackie, and that's going to be like the beginning of they're going to start like eating each other.
Yeah.
As for deaths, obviously I think they'll kill Van next season.
Okay.
I think because Lottie and Misty are being set up as like villains. I think if you're gonna have like a villain next season, it'll be Van.
Yeah.
And I think Ben is also on the chopping block.
Okay.
I think they'll keep Javi around for a little bit.
Do you think he's gonna get found next season?
No, again, he's gonna be chilling in that town. He's still running. He's still running. He's running in that town while working on his art project.
that he never finished.
Yeah. Misty, I think it'll be revealed she's working with Lottie, but she's not like 100% ride or die for her. I think she's gonna be like more neutral.
Okay.
Like not a full on villain. I think she'll be like kind of like an enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's hard to make predictions. I guess the main thing is the Lottie reveal in the cult.
Yeah. Anything on like Shauna, like pregnancy wise, like type of thing?
Oh yeah, I'm guessing she'll have her kid next season. Because I'm pretty sure she's like halfway through it now.
Yeah.
So she'll probably have the kid like end of season 2.
Okay.
Because in the past it seems like it's been like 4 months. Next season, another 4 months. She'll be at like the end of the pregnancy, and then she'll give birth.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
If it's sooner, I'll be surprised, because I'm assuming most of next season is going to be like the winter.
How much like mingling in the present do you think we'll get like from the cast? Because
Oh, I really hope they don't wait till the end of the season to do it again. I hope we'll have everyone kind of like together again around episode 4, like halfway through the season.
Yeah, because right now if there's 9, yeah, that would be fine. So
like 4 or 5, like give us a couple episodes of them separated, but then have them all together sooner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really hope like towards the end of the season, all the plot lines were kind of coming together a little bit, but it took too long. I feel like I really hope next season, now that we know all the characters, we have them like together more.
Yeah. All right, I think that's it. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Peace. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to talk too much about the season as a whole. We'll probably do like a season review at some point.
Yeah, I just have you doing that stuff. Which would be nice to do like a season review, because I could talk about like the behind the scenes. Like now you can watch those interviews like in the future I sent you, type of thing. So
yeah.
Yeah,
I'll probably watch episode 1 of season 2 soon. We're not going to review it for like 2 weeks, I think we said, but I'm going to watch it and see how I like it.
So you don't want to come back because I remember we always talked about like you know, if it shows like we don't want to watch to come back, like we wouldn't like force it. Like, did season 1 do enough to make you want to go to season 2?
Yeah, I'm interested in it. You know, it's only they're making season 3 right now, so it's not like a big commitment.
Yeah. So
I liked it overall. It's not like my favorite thing we've reviewed. Like, you know, obviously like Death Note and Breaking Bad are like S tier. I feel like it's in that red versus blue range where it's like a B plus.
Except season 6, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, season 6 is amazing. Well, again, I feel like high highs and low lows is how I would describe red versus blue and Yellowjackets.
Yeah, which is kind of
There's
funny.
a lot of stuff I really, a lot of stuff I didn't really like.
Which is funny because we're about to cover red versus blue next. So
Right. Well, you know, I'm looking forward to season 8. It is one of my favorite seasons of the show. I'm looking forward to it, and it is the end of the Recollection trilogy. And as I've said, I think if we're going by like, you know, like I said, there's the Blood Gulch era, the Recollection era, and then we have like the Freelancer era and the Chorus trilogy. I think if we're as a whole, I think the Recollection trilogy is my favorite like era of Red versus Blue, because I love season 6. Season 7 is good, not as good, but still good, and I love season 8.
So yeah, we have some stuff to like really look through now and stuff, and I'm kind of glad because I got to watch. I know you probably binged it like within a few days, but I got to like take enough breaks and like watch it like in the same year, type of thing. So I'm kind of happy.
Yeah.
I probably like Red versus Blue more than you like Yellowjackets too, because we take longer breaks from Red versus Blue, so I have to like, you know.
I mean, I really like Yellowjackets. I give it a B plus overall, like so far, for the season, I'd say.
But I was like,
which is like it's not bad.
Yeah, but I was like, you know, I was like waiting. I just to like for us to like finally finish season 1 because I'm like I want to get back into OVB, so it's like, you know.
Oh yeah, true. We have focused on Yellowjackets a lot, so I'm like not dying to go into season 2. But like I am definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah. So yeah, so just tell but yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. We will talk to you guys later.
Bye.
What's going on? Okay.